Welcome to the 5 on 5 podcast presented by directmusicservice.com. I am Phenom. To my right, Jupiter Williams. To my bottom left, formerly Neek the Freak, Neek Lopez, coming live from Las Vegas.
Also known as Little Neek too.
Little Neek.
We have like 3 decades of Neeks.
So many
And
Neeks.
our special guest today, you know who the fuck it is. Make some noise for the legendary DJ Spider.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Dog walking around.
Oh, look at that dog. What is that? That's a real dog?
Yeah, that's my baby girl Nyla. That's my baby girl Nyla.
A puppy, or is that like a...
She's actually 9. Yeah, so this is...
That's the cutest dog ever,
Oh,
actually.
this is how big... This is it.
Oh,
That's it.
This is
Is
it.
she wearing a jacket?
Oh, yeah.
my
We
God.
were outside. We were outside, so...
It's cold in
That's
Portland.
amazing.
She's still trying to warm up a little bit.
Oh my God. Where do you live? Where are you at?
We're in Portland.
Okay.
Me and
You're
Phenom are in Portland.
Okay.
Nick is in
You're
Las Vegas. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
I'm in
where
LA.
are you? Where are you?
I'm in LA. I'm in Sherman Oaks.
Sherman Oaks.
Sick.
Oh, Sherman Oaks.
The
Spider,
Valley, baby.
how are you holding up, sir?
Yeah, man.
I'm good. I'm maintaining. I think that's the
That's the key
term
word.
that we use.
It's a good keyword for the
If
year.
you're not saying you're pivoting, you're maintaining, right?
Yeah.
That's
That's the language right now.
the buzzwords.
That's
But
it.
no, I'm good. I'm healthy. My family's healthy. I can't complain. Like, there's been a horrible year in a lot of respects, especially in terms of working and money as a DJ. But I am good, and I'm happy to be here. And I've been working on my own podcast so much that it actually feels good to go on somebody else's and be able to talk. And
Yes,
not be in control.
we are so happy to have you on here. I speak for all 3 of us when I say we avidly listen to your podcast. I text you about your podcast
Yes.
and stuff as I'm
Great.
listening.
Yes. Thank you.
And, we are all fans.
Yeah, over
What
here
we
fanning.
do around these parts here, every week we compare 2 artists head to head, their top 5 songs as viewed most popular on Spotify.
Okay.
This week, it's Travis's pick. We're going to go 5 rounds. You're going to name a this or a that. Travis, what do we got?
All right. We got some diva heavyweights, so to say.
Ooh, okay.
He-
Love that.
Heavyweights as in the music that they bring. We're not disrespecting
We're not
women
gonna
like
body
that, okay?
shame.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I think
Some of
I
the
think
best divas are heavyweights in both ways, I guess.
This is
True.
true. This is
This is
true. This is true. Both of these aren't heavyweights in that respect, but beautiful in that regard. Heavyweights as in music, we have Adele versus Rihanna.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay. Round 1, what do we got?
Okay, round 1, we have Someone Like You versus Umbrella. And
Okay.
I'm glad that I am picking the artist because, come on, everybody knows that I'm a Hove stan. So
Yeah.
So your team Rihanna.
yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
what
yeah.
were the songs? Someone Like You. Okay.
Someone Like You versus Umbrella.
Okay, Someone Like You versus Umbrella. And so what are we just comparing
So-
what we like about them?
Yeah, you just
you just
compare what
choose
you
which
like.
song that you would like. You just choose one or the other. Which one wins that round?
If you could only keep one between the 2.
I mean, from the club DJ perspective,
There we
like
go.
Umbrella wins, but from the just songwriting and great song, classic song perspective, I'll go with Someone Like You. So if I have to pick one, I'll go Someone Like You.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's my choice.
Yeah.
But Umbrella, that got a lot of play in my time in the nightclub days.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get to that player 1 talk. We're gonna get to that soon. Yes. Colin, what you got?
If I never heard Umbrella again, that would be fine. Fantastic song. I'm going Someone Like You.
Okay. Neek.
Yeah.
I'm going Someone Like You. I'm not playing either of these songs in my car.
Me either. I'm definitely not playing either one in my car.
So, and if I had to choose one of them that I had to listen to in my car, it wouldn't be Umbrella. So someone like you gets the pick for me.
All right.
Gotcha. All right. Round 2, we got "Rolling in the Deep" by Adele versus Rihanna, "Love on the Brain."
I'm going "Rolling in the Deep." Classic song. Love it.
Classic.
Still play it. Dope remixes. The Jamie XX remix.
Yep.
So good. You know, there's remixes for every occasion for that song. Even I remember, like, I think it was DJ Barry or D Barry made some, you know, EDM kind of remix when that was huge in Vegas, and that got a lot of play. And it's just a dope classic song and classic Adele track. But "Love on the Brain," I love the doo-wop kind of sound of it and the classic sound. I love how they pulled that off. It's so cool. I feel like I've heard Miles Medina or some other amazing DJs do some crazy edits and mashups with it. So no diss to that song, but I'm going Adele on that one.
All right. Neek.
Being from Las Vegas and working in the nightclubs for the past 10 years, I'm going to go with this Rihanna song. It's a little bit slower pace, a little bit, in my opinion, palatable, like something that's cooler a little to listen to. This Adele song has just been, it's not that it's not a good song, it's a great song. It's just been played to death. And like you said, Spider, every DJ has a remix to it, and I'm going to hear it at least, since it's come out, I've heard it at least twice a night, every night at work. So it's not that it doesn't work or that it's not a good song. I personally am just sick of it. So Rihanna gets this one.
Okay. All right.
All you Vegas DJs, Neek is calling you guys out. Stop.
No,
playing.
it works.
It was a big.
It works.
Vegas
It
song
works.
because everyone sings it. You know, they're like,
yeah, it's an automatic hit. I get it. As the guy that works in the club every night, you know, we all know you guys are all playing it. You all know you're all playing it. It's not a secret. It's gonna get played twice. I'm just,
you're right.
Again, I'm not playing it in my car. Yeah, the car litmus test.
Yeah, I'm going "Rolling in the Deep," man, for the Jamie XX remix. And
So
also,
good.
didn't Diplo do a Moombahton remix of that too?
Probably. I don't
Probably.
know. I always play the Jamie XX. The Jamie XX is funny because in the wrong play, like if you play it at like a corporate event, like people are like, "Oh, I think something weird's happening with the vocals." I'm like, no, it's supposed to do that. It's like, you should. They're like,
always some super cool guy that's like, dude,
Yeah. I think something's wrong
They're
with
like-
your CDJs.
how much is this the worst expression to DJ? I'm like, you're doing this, you're just winding me up to be like, thanks, bye.
Yeah. Here it is.
That's what you just did. Like, never do that. Never do
Yeah.
that to anyone ever in any
Never.
respect.
In
When would you-
anything that they do.
like, I don't care if he's the guy playing piano in Disneyland and like the little thing. He's like, dude, like, don't do this to him. Let him do his thing. When is that ever acceptable? You know, unless you're
When
like,
does that
you want your kid to like get out of the car or something. That's the only time.
Yeah. Let's go.
But also, when you see this too, you have to look at that corporate check in your mind and be like, okay. In the club,
Yeah.
though, I would be like, you're fucking out of here.
Like, excuse me? Yeah.
Yeah, at the corporate gig, you're like, oh, next song? Okay.
Yeah.
I think after quarantine, though, I'm going to, now when people do that to me in the club, I'm going to turn the song off right away and just see what happens. They're going to be like, oh, and they're going to be like, whoa, what the hell just happened?
You told me to turn it off.
It's your
You did
fault,
it.
guy.
It's your fault.
Handle that. Oh my god. Yeah, "Rolling in the Deep," man. Let's give that one to Adele. Round 3.
Round 3, we have Adele, "When We Were Young" versus Rihanna, "Needed Me."
I almost need to hear those again.
Yeah.
What are I can't even picture them. I Needed Me.
Needed Me is like a slow, sexy song. Yep.
Oh no. Ooh. All of us singing Rihanna is not a good thing.
Yeah. I try to like
hit
hit you with a little one note, and then everybody got into the quartet.
Yeah. No, that one's good. What's the Adele song?
When We Were Young.
I know it, but it's like it's slipping my mind for some reason. Oh, it's like very like epic sounding.
Yeah.
I'm going Rihanna on this one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm right there with you, man. Yeah, I'm not big on either one of these songs, but I'll go Rihanna.
I like the Rihanna song.
Yeah.
See, I like the Rihanna song because it's a mustard beat.
Yeah, like it was a cool song in the club when it came out.
It was written by Party Next Door.
And it's just it's catchy. It just sticks in your head. Just that one part.
Yeah, just that part.
Just that alone. And then just
I don't hate it.
And her cadence, like the way they do it, is like super dope for verse.
Yo, how many tracks is Mustard sitting on right now for post-quarantine?
You know he's...
I mean, I don't know. It's insane, dude. Like, has anyone done the Mustard mixtape or something? Just all his songs?
Oh, just all his songs? Man,
the best mustards, the greatest mustard.
Talk about the sound of Vegas. I mean, I don't know if he gets enough credit for that, but he is the sound of Las Vegas. Like, Blow the Whistle and all DJ Mustard songs. There you go, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
He was he had a residency out here for a little bit.
Yeah, at Marquee.
Playing out like like Marquee and Light and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I DJ'd with him back in Chicago, and he had the longest Do Not playlist. So I was opening, and I played 2 hours before him, and one of his guys comes up, and I'm playing Back That Ass Up, and he goes, "Oh, don't play Back That Ass Up. He's gonna play that." And I'm like, "What year is it?" Like,
like how are you supposed to know? Some people have crazy ones. Like, I've seen some that are just mind blowing. And Do Not playlists where I'm like, wow, I couldn't even take that much time.
Yeah, who's the craziest?
I think someone was showing me like, well, I don't know. I'm not. It may have just been for that thing, but Questlove had some crazy kind of one that I saw.
I could see Questlove having a really wild playlist.
He can do whatever he wants.
That's true.
Right, it's Questlove.
He has a master class now, so what can you do?
Yeah.
The only funny thing about his master class is that he's one of the only people I've seen in the world who DJs with both of his turntables on one side. So I'm like,
yes. Yeah.
Is that part of the master class? Like, let's give people the option to do the normal way too.
We were just talking about that. We were watching him on Twitch, and I was like, yo, Phenom.
Nick's
I haven't seen this.
Doing with everything.
I was like, I haven't seen this in a very, very long time.
How does your brain? My brain can't do that because you're like, dude. DJ Premier does that.
I was gonna say Primo does that.
Yeah,
and like that's like it.
Yeah, I don't.
Right, I know. I haven't seen many other people do it, but yeah, the masterclass thing looks dope. I saw someone, Daisy Odell. She's a DJ out here. She was posting on Instagram. And it comes with like a physical book that was like really dope. Because I thought it was just like, okay, you get to watch a thing, which is great. Yeah. But it had a physical book, and I saw it had like Cosmo Baker and all these dope DJs in the book that comes with the masterclass. And then it gives recommendations for all these record stores all over the place. And I'm like, that makes it more worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's kind of tight. Just the book itself is kind of fresh.
Yeah, it seemed dope.
I feel like his Do Not playlist is a bunch of songs we've never even heard or don't have access to. So
I was just gonna say,
wasn't don't play Mandrill but it's also probably like Jackson 5 ABC.
Don't play this Michael Jackson demo edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't play the PYT demo #1 from 1982. Quincy Jones edit.
Wave.
Yeah. Don't play this analog tape that he's going to bring out.
No worries, Quest. No worries.
Don't play anything on Reel to Reel tonight because I get plan on getting into that quite a bit.
Exactly.
And then Rotary later on.
Yeah. On the rotary. Don't even play on a rotary. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh man. Last round. Let's wrap this up real quick. We got Adele Hello versus Rihanna Ponder Replay.
I mean, these are hard because they're very like club versus like I feel like a lot of the Adele songs are just classic, like well written, amazing, long lasting, timeless songs, you know?
Yeah.
So but upon the replay, you know, that got a lot of play. That'll be a classic track, you know, for me in the clubs. But I'm gonna go with the Adele again on here.
Okay. Neek.
Adele. It's just
like, cause you singing that song, huh? You singing this in your car.
Yeah, that is getting played in the car.
Yeah, you hit it.
I'm crying, singing it.
Crying down the strip.
Crying down the strip. It's me. No, like even though it's like a mega pop hit, it's a
well-written track, man.
Yeah,
it's a very well-written track.
Yeah,
it's a monster of a song. I think it's gonna be up there with one of like
all times,
the Elton Johns of the world. Like it's a huge track.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Rihanna. I just heard Hello just so many times, and yeah, that's it. nothing too crazy about that. I'm going Rihanna.
Understandable.
Fair.
And
you don't hear Ponder Replay
Rihanna
too much.
Yeah, this was early Rihanna.
That was like her first song, I think, right? Her first, at least, single. That was when I first heard of her. I'm like, who is this? Okay.
I think that might be her first single, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, there wasn't much up-tempo. Like, we weren't really playing, like, house music and stuff, really, at that time, I don't think. It was, like, just up-tempo. Like, I did a set on Twitch today, and it was all music from 2000 to 2010. And it was funny to go through my crates and see that transition point of, like, when Bob Sinclair and, like, David Guetta came in, because pre that it was like, you know, Upon the Replay, you know, maybe that kind of stuff, but it was like the Blade Runner edits. Like they would take a song and make it upbeat, or it would be like DJ Boo Man, or like it was like Be More songs, and I'd mix it into like a Phoenix track. You know, it was like finding like up tempo, you know, or like Lose It Missy Elliott, but it wasn't in the house world yet. And I feel like her song, you know, it was in that mix. So you were like, okay, I'm doing my up tempo set.
Gotcha.
Now I guess up tempo is considered like K Tronada vibes or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that one went to Adele, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. Adele.
Sorry, Rihanna. We love you, Rihanna.
We do. I'm a stan.
I really thought that was gonna go to Rihanna easy.
I thought so.
Well, you know, it's what Spotify gives us.
Top 5.
It's what Spotify gives us. You know, we're at their mercy.
Right. Oh, so you're going off the top 5 Spotify.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that makes it tough. But that's okay. I have some good Rihanna stories actually from back in the day, but I can tell you that later. She used to come out like I can tell you, but there was like
let's go.
I probably might need to edit some of it out, but she I guess I'll see what I can say. But I used to DJ this spot, Dre. So, you know, Dre's Las Vegas. You're in Las Vegas, Neek. And there was Dre's Las Vegas back in the day that was just like the underground, like after hour spot. And then they opened a spot in LA called Dre's Hollywood. And it was on the top of the W Hotel. And that's actually how I got my Trist residency in Las Vegas, was from that gig, because the people that ran that club under Victor Dre were Jesse and Sty Waits, who also ran, you know, Excess and Trist at the Wynn at the time. And I got in there, he was one of the residents, and I remember this one night, they were like, this girl came up to me and she's like, hey, Rihanna's here, and she loves everything you're doing. She thinks you're like the best DJ. Da, da, da. I was like, oh my God, it's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. And then they asked me, I wish I could remember the whole thing, but they asked me to play some songs. You know, she wants to hear this. Can you play it? I'm like, of course. Like, so I played some stuff, and then they're like, oh, she loves what you're doing. Da, da, da. And then that was it. I thought that was the coolest thing. And then at the very end, oh no, this is what happened. And then so the girl got my number because she goes, we want to be able to text you from the booth and tell you stuff we want to hear. Like, okay, you're Rihanna.
Yeah. Rihanna standing up in the booth just.
So I open my phone. She sends me a GIF of someone going like this. No, and then so I'm like, okay. So they text me, you know, we like this. Can you play this? I don't remember what it was, but so the night ends, and I'm like, that was crazy. And I remember my cousin was with me, and he's like, well, I can't believe that. That was crazy. That was so much fun. And then I get a text, hey, this is Rihanna's assistant. We have a room, like a penthouse room at the hotel. You guys want to come up and hang? And I'm like, yes, okay. And my cousin's like, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know, you just have to act normal, like this is what we do all the time. That's the key to all of this. Act like we hang out with Rihanna every day of our life. And he's like, I don't know if I can do that. I'm like, yes, you can, we got this. So like we go up in there, and of course, like there's mad people. They're like partying, like the music's on, and it's like a bunch of her friends, and they're like, you know, up there having fun, like someone's like the super like blunt roller. There was some guy that was just like the weed guy. You know, like I was like, hey man, what do you do? He's like, I'm the weed guy. I'm like, oh, okay, that's like your entire job. He's like, yeah, that's what I do with my life. I bring people weed. I'm like, okay, good job. And then there was like another person that was just like the roller person, you know, and then so we end up like, and then she turns out to be like the coolest person in the world. Like we just chilled with her and her friends. She's like, you want to smoke? She's like, I love this and that, talking about music and like saying all these things. And my cousin's face is just like, he's seen a ghost. He's like freaking out. And then like she goes back to like her world. Like she's nice enough to even talk to us and say, and thanks for hanging out. And we're just, and then at that point, I'm like, what do we do? We're in this party with like all these people. We don't know who they are. And, we're just, you know, and then probably we hit like some of those blunts, and then which made it so much more awkward, because then at that point it's like social anxiety central. So like, what do we do? I got cotton mouth to ask for a drink. I don't know what to have. Okay. So, but it was, and then finally, like, you know, there's no big climax to it, but finally we were just like, we're out of here, peace, and then left. And we were just like in my car, like, what just happened? That was the craziest thing ever. So, and then there was a few other times they would come in when I'd be DJing, and her assistant would hit me like, yo, can we hear this song, that song? And then I thought maybe I'd get the invite to the penthouse again, but never. It didn't get that. I was like, I'm about to be the tour DJ for Rihanna.
Yeah.
Like I thought all this stuff was gonna pop up.
You're like, I'm in now.
Yeah. I remember like DJ Reflex was like super down with her, and he's on Rock Nation, and she did this tour for, I think it was called 777 or something like that, and her album was something with the 7, and they took a 777 plane to 7 countries and did 7 shows, and I was like, oh, maybe they'll ask me, but like he was super down with her, and he deserves it. But he went, it looked like the craziest tour ever, and he would DJ on the plane, they would DJ when they get there, like these huge things.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Jesus.
Damn.
got to have my little Rihanna interaction. I'll never forget.
Yes. Super jealous. Super jealous.
So sick.
Adele, not so much. I never met her.
Oh.
Adele gave you the wrap it up.
I saw her through a window. I was like, hello, mama. And she was like,
yeah, wrap it up, bro.
wow, wrap it up, B.
It's enough.
Yo,
Spider off the wall.
Lightning round here. In the lightning round, I throw you 2 names, and you tell me this or that. Whatever comes to mind. You're only keeping one. Let's start with this. David Bowie or Queen?
Oh God, that's so hard. I mean, David Bowie. But I mean, you can't throw away Queen. How you gonna throw away Queen?
Well, you just did. Congrats.
So easy. What am I supposed to do?
Zap or the Gap Band?
Oh man, this is crazy. I guess. What? I'll throw away. I'll keep Zap. I guess. I mean, you can't throw. It's too hard. These are hard.
Yeah, you got to keep the talk box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Too legendary.
All right. Clips or Mobb Deep?
Mobb Deep. I'm keeping Mobb Deep.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I love Clips, but I'm keeping Mobb Deep. That's too close to my heart. That's ingrained in my blood.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Weekend or Party Next Door?
I'm keeping Weekend over Party Next Door.
Okay. Al Green or Marvin Gaye?
Oh man, Marvin Gaye. But Al Green, come on, you can't throw him away. But I'm going Marvin Gaye.
Okay. Travis Scott or Future?
Travis Scott, I'm keeping.
Okay. Kendrick or J. Cole?
Kendrick, my God.
Okay.
That one's the easy one. No offense to J. Cole, not that he's not good, but that to me is no competition at all.
Okay. Drake or Dr. Dre?
Dr. Drake. I'll do. That's my new mixtape coming out. Thank you, Dr. Drake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Drake over Dr. Drake.
Yes, that'd be great. Actually.
What's the difference between me and you? I mean, that's crazy.
Wait. What if Dr. Drake is mashups, but it's only Dr. Dre verses over Drake beats?
That's
It's
bad.
not the other way around.
Not the other way
That's a
around.
double-handed wrapping up.
He's just like a loop of with my jeans on and my team strong.
Yeah.
That's the chorus. I just took some ecstasy. All these
Yeah.
chicks want to have sex with me. Yeah.
It's like, why would Spider do Dre verses on Drake beats?
Like for 45
Doesn't-
minutes.
That could go both ways, but the opposite way could be good.
It could be good, but I like the other way.
Yeah.
I'm keeping Dr. Dre. I mean, it's too legendary. Drake helped me a lot, make money in nightclubs, and has some great music. And I think my wife and kid are a huge fan of probably Drake more than Dr. Dre. But Dr. Dre, I mean, I had the Chronic. I mean, NWA, but the Chronic.
Yeah.
I had the tape, in high school. Listen to that tape till the freaking thing snapped. So
Yeah.
Dr. Dre all the way.
Okay. Trick Daddy or Gucci Mane?
I don't know. Trick Daddy, they're both great, but Trick Daddy is more my age group.
Luda or Juvenile?
Luda.
Okay. Nelly or Ja Rule?
That's a hard one, actually. Nelly, but it's hard.
All right. Take it to the arena here. AC/DC or Guns N' Roses?
No, that's a hard too. But Guns N' Roses. I mean, AC/DC, amazing, classic songs, loved them. Same time in my life, became fans of both of those bands. But Guns N' Roses has true, insane classic songs that will never die. That have so many elements. It's not just dun, 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 so.
Yeah.
Bee Gees or Fugees?
Man, Battle of the G's. I'm going Fuji.
Okay. Sade or
Bee
Aaliyah?
Gees. I have another good story from Bee Gees things, but yeah, Bee Gees classic. But I
Wait a
got
minute,
yelled
pause
at
for the story.
like a psycho. Okay, quickest story is not club life. Like I get booked to do a lot of private events, and I got booked to do this person's wedding, and he was like one of the most powerful people like in Hollywood. Like he like ran some of the biggest networks and just very big, rich, powerful person. And his wedding was at this person's house, who I guess was also this insanely powerful, bossed out dude that like created an entire TV network. And I did not know who he was, but we're at his house. And also like, it's hard to judge like the personality. So he was nice to me in the beginning. And so then he comes over and he's like, you have Bee Gees, this song, whatever it was. And this is at the time of like when you got to buy a song off iTunes and you're not on the Wi-Fi, and I tethered my phone to like 2G or something, and I'm in Montecito and I'm trying to download, and so he asked me for the song. I'm like, I got you, I'm gonna play it. And he's like, all right, I'll be right back. And I see the thing and it's crawling, you know what I mean? It's like 2K, like BPS, like it's like dit, dit, dit. And he keeps coming over. He's like, are you gonna play this song? You gonna play the song? I think it was like How Deep Is Your Love or something. And I didn't have it in my computer. And he's like, you gonna play it? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play it. I promise. And finally he comes over and he's like, He's like, you got the song? I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, don't fuck with me. And I was like, no, I'm not fucking with you. He's like, no, don't fuck with me. And I was like, no, I'm not fucking with you. But he was like smiling a little bit. And so I was like, no. I was like, not fucking with you. Look, it's slow internet. He goes, and then he like, his face like changed and he like started turning red. And he's like, this is my fucking house. And I'm like, oh, I know that. He's like, you're gonna get the fucking song. And he's like, don't fuck with me. Like, started saying like bright red, like psychopath shit. And I'm like, oh God, I started like sweating. I was like, and the event planners are like looking at us and hearing this whole thing. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And he's like, you better get the fucking song. Like, starts just, and then I realized he's not kidding. Because I thought he was joking, even when he started getting mad. And then so he walked away. And then I was like, please just download. And then so it finally came through. And then they came over like, what's happening? I'm like, he's yelling at me. I don't know. He wants the Bee Gees. I've never seen anyone get this mad over the Bee Gees. And I get the song and I put it in and I play it. And people start, and you know that thing where people start dancing to something and you don't know what to do after? So like they're dancing and he's with his wife and they're having the best time of their life to this song. It's like, how deep is your love or whatever. And so I'm like, please don't end. Like, it's a 3 minutes and 48 seconds or whatever. And I'm looking at it like, I don't know what to do. Like, anything I put on, he's going to cut my head off, you know? So I think I played it again. And then he kind of looked at me weird. And I'm thinking, was this that big of a deal? Fucking, I'm playing it again.
Twice.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ, man. So then but then I don't even know what I played after. But I just was like, crossed my fingers, like, please, I hope this works. And then put on a song and then people kept dancing and everything was fine after that. And I've done so many events with these event producers after that, and they always, every single gig, never fail, come up to me like, remember that night? And they'll like make a joke and they're like, don't fuck with me. I'm like, God, I'm like, burned in my mind, PTSD. So Bee Gees are like, you know.
You're like, yeah, I'm glad you find that funny. I genuinely have PTSD from that situation.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. So, and then I looked him up later. I like Googled him and then read all these like horror stories and shit. So I'm like, I guess sometimes the bossed out people are very mean, and so I experienced that.
Dang.
Who'd have thought George Lucas's wedding?
Yeah. Who'd have thought George Lucas would have flipped his top for not having How Deep Is Your Love?
He's like someone you probably never heard of, but like they, there's those guys like that run thing.
Yeah.
But like that's why I didn't know who this guy was, and they're like, he created this network. I'm like, oh, how do you even do that?
Anytime someone's like, don't fuck with me, man, and it's a stranger, that's where you're like, oh boy, we're entering another domain here.
Yeah, I know. I had a Ray Liotta story like that too, and I thought he was gonna kill me, like, because it felt like Goodfellas, like and he was like, pick up the fucking wood, and I was like, oh my God, like that's, I won't wait, we can keep going. I can tell that later, but yeah, that was scary. It ended well.
It ended well.
He spilled his red wine all over my shit. So like, it was the craziest thing. He had a glass of red wine filled with ice, which I've never seen in my life, and put it down right next to the turntables. And I'm like, Ray Liotta, and I'm like, this is not good, And then of course he did that thing where he's like talking, and he's like, boom, and then it just like goes under everything, and he was like, I mean, do you want me to tell that story? I can try to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Halfway through it.
Okay. So I'll back up. So I'm doing this party. It's at this big head of an agency's house, and it's for the Oscars. And so many weird things happened at this party. From like, Mariah Carey got there, and this like guy comes over to me, and he goes, "Mariah Carey is here. You can now play her music." And then walked away. And I was like, what? I was like, is that? And then I was like, so what? Do I do it? And then he comes back and he's like, you can play it. I was like, all right. What is there a song? Like, she comes out in the thing? So I played it. They were like, thank you. Okay. I'm like, that was very weird. But, and then like that whole night was like crazy. And then I remember DJing, and I just hear like in front of me, like there's so many people there like talking, and I just hear like people talking. I hear like, and I'm like, oh shit, Seth Rogen's like right in front of me. And he's like super high, like having the best conversation with like Paul Rudd and someone else.
Yes.
And I'm like, I want to be in this conversation so bad. And I was like trying to listen. I'm like, oh, like it must be the funniest conversation ever. And just watching him, and I could just hear him going like, but I don't know what happened. And it was thing after thing. And then these guys start standing next to the booth, and I look, and it's Ray Liotta, and he's talking to like a few other people. I don't know who they are, and they're talking about something, you know, the Eagles or something, and they're like, what about this song? What? And I'm listening to him, and he sounds like he's in like a mafia movie, you know. And he's like, hey, yeah, this fucking guy. I'm like, what the fuck is that? You know, he's like, what? Who's the guy in the Eagles? Who's the guy in the Eagles? Or like, I forget what band it was or something. But like, I remember him. He kept saying the thing. So like, I Googled it just because I wanted to know. I didn't know what he was talking about, and it comes up, and it's like Jackson Brown, and then he looks at me and he goes, here, let's ask the DJ. The DJ's gonna know. Who's the guy in the thing? And I was like, Jackson Brown. And he's like, hey, there you go. I was like, boom, hey, good thing I fucking looked it up. So then he's like, exactly. Okay, what's your name? And I'm like, Spider. He's like, what? I'm like, Spider. He's like, what? I'm like, Oliver. And then he's like, Oliver. Okay. He like could not hear Spider. And I'm thinking, weren't you in a movie with a guy named Spider? But like, okay, I'm not gonna take it to that. But yeah. So then like, he's like, Oliver. Okay, let me talk to you. Saying all this shit. Then he becomes like my best friend. Like the guys walk away, he won't stop talking to me. I don't know what he's saying. It's amazing, but he has I'm also just concentrating on the massive glass of red wine filled with ice right next to the turntable. And there's like a wooden thing in front of the turntables, you know, like to block the wires and to sort of like look classy at the party. And so he like hits the thing. He's like, oh shit. Runs and gets a rag, and I'm like, yo, you're Ray Liotta. I go, you don't have to do that. Like someone will come and clean it up. He's like, no, I spilled it. I'm gonna do this. So he starts like mopping it up, and he's like super serious Ray Liotta mopping up my DJ booth, and I'm still DJing, and everybody's looking at me, and the event planner's looking at me. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. Like it's just happening, you know. And he's like. And then he's like, the wood thing, and he goes, pick up the wood because I'm gonna go under. And I go, no, it's fine. Like I can't pick it up because if I pick it up, like you know what happens? Like all the red wine's gonna drip down onto my turntables, and it's gonna go everywhere. And at this point, I'd rather just leave it and I'll clean it up. And he's like, pick up the wood. I'm gonna go under. I go, no, it's fine. He goes, pick up the wood. And I'm like, and he goes, pick up the fucking wood. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's like, I pick it up, and exactly, it's like dripping down, and he's like going under it. And at that point, like the event planner comes, she goes, what's going on here? And I'm like, oh, just Ray spilled the wine and we're fixing it, you know? And she's like, no, Ray, don't. And she goes, don't clean this up. What can I do? What can I get for you here? And he's like, well, it'd be nice if I could get another glass of red wine with ice in it, you know, like what the fuck? Like, get me that, you know? And I'm like, this is crazy. So we do that, and then he just stands there like he never, so basically he never leaves. Like, he's like that person that never leaves you at the DJ booth, but it's Ray Liotta. And he's standing there, he's talking to me, and he goes, like, no one's fucking dancing at this party. No one's fucking dancing. Why are you playing this shit? And I'm like, no, they asked me to do this. And he's like, because also just real quick precursor to this, I had to have a meeting with the person whose party it was, and the person was like, I was at the BAFTAs and the DJ was amazing. They would play a song, let it end, have the silence, and let the next song play. And I'm like, are you sure it was a DJ? And he's like, yeah, it was great. And it was like Motown music. And it was blues. And I'm like, I think it was just a playlist. And the event planner was like, that's not really what DJs do. And he was like, well, that's what we want. And then his wife was like, I Shazammed everything. And then like shows me like the thing. And I'm like, what is this crazy list? So then I have to like, you know, so that's what I'm supposed to do. And he
easiest gig ever.
Kind of, except for the fact that he goes, don't listen to anybody. If they ask you to play anything else, just do what I said. Play blues and Motown and don't mix it. I'm like, this is so weird. And of course, his kids are allowed to come to the party. So they're coming over to me going, this sucks. Play Drake. You know, like to the point of over and over and over and over. And I'm like thinking, okay, fine. Started from the bottom. Here we go. So like I put on one Drake song and he rushes over with a red in his face like, what are you doing? I told you not to do this. And I'm like, your kids? I told you not to listen to anybody, not even my kids. I'm like, okay. So I'm like back to like, hit the road, Jack. You know, don't come back no more. And like, so then like it's Ray Liotta, and he's like, why are you playing this shit? No one's fucking dancing. There's hot girls everywhere. We gotta get them to dance, man. What do we do? You know what to do. And I'm like, no, I'm doing what they want. He's like, play. You gotta play like disco, okay? In my day, we played disco, and they dance. You gotta play 80s, and he's naming off songs they would dance to. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm doing it. I go, you want me to play? I'll play any song you want. And he goes, okay, play. And I wish I could remember, but it was some type of like disco, probably the Bee Gees. No, but it was some type of like disco song. And I put it on, and
how
like
deep is your love?
Yeah. How deep is your fucking red wine love, you bastard? And then like, and so I put it on, and he sees like there's all these girls, and you know there's like younger, and they walk by, and none of them are dancing, and they're not into it. He's like, you're right. I see what you're saying. Nobody here is gonna dance. Because I explained to him, I go, this just isn't the right kind of thing, and they don't want me to do it. And he's like, yeah. And then he just talked to me about music forever, and then he leaves, and then he even comes back at the end of the party. He's like, Oliver, great to meet you. Like shake hand. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing ever. Like, yeah, never seen him again. So
shit.
That's like burned into my mind. I wish I would have written every detail down when I got home, to like even down to the song, because now that I can't forget some of the songs, I'm like, it kills me. But man, that was yeah.
If that was in your video press kit, like these little clips of somebody being like, you can play Mariah Carey now, and Ray Liotta holding up the turntable.
Yeah.
People would be like, I don't think this guy's a DJ. I don't know what he does. I'm sure.
I don't know if I am either. I mean, it was, yeah.
I was with Rihanna and getting yelled at about the Bee Gees. Like, I don't know what he does.
Oh my God, yeah. And then it all ties back to that Bill Murray story I told on the other podcast. But that's my Bill Murray, Marvin Gaye connection. But yeah, that's some of the crazy things.
Wait a minute. You were Bill Murray and Marvin Gaye. Wait, you can't just gloss over that like it's nothing.
I feel like I told this story on a few podcasts, and I told it on the Headliner Music podcast. I'm happy to tell it again if you want. I just don't want to like take up your whole thing with all my crazy stories. But
bro, we got a pro account. We can go as long as we want.
Okay, well. So basically, like I was doing an Oscar party, and it was like this big agents party, and all these people are there, and it's towards the end of the night. I'm DJing. There's a guy on the dance floor all alone dancing, super dancing to whatever I play, you know. And there's like girls, like young girls, probably in their 20s, dancing with themselves. Nobody's talking to this guy at all. But I'm like, he looks just like Bill Murray. But I'm like, why would no one be talking to Bill Murray? Like, as if he's just a complete nobody. And so I'm like, can't be him, whatever. So I'm DJing. And then the guy comes over to me, and it's Bill Murray. And he's like, hey, can you play, oh no, you know, what actually, I wish I, so I think what had happened was the people were like, okay, you got like one more song or something. And you got to turn it off because this is the very end of the night. And he comes over and he goes, can you play something? And I go, you know, they're actually telling me that this has to be the last song. And he's like, I'll tell you what, play another song. I want to keep going. If they come over, I'm going to look at you. I'm going to protect you. And I'm like, Bill Murray decided he'll protect me. Like, that's the best thing I've ever heard. And I go, okay, whatever. So I put on the next song. I don't know what it was. And he keeps dancing, the girls keep dancing, and the managers come over and they're like, yo, you got to turn it off. And I'm like, oh, is Bill Murray really going to protect me? And I look, and he is, and he comes running over, and he's like, hey, I asked him to play the song, you know, it's fine. And they're like, we got to end the night. You don't understand. He's like, I just want one more song. And they go, listen, Bill, you can have one more song, but that's it. Like, we have to, you know, it's code violation. We're going to get shut down. So just tell them what you want, and then we're out of here. And he looks at me and he looks at them and he goes, you got Marvin Gaye, Got to Give It Up, the extended version.
Yes.
And I'm like, Bill Murray shit ever, like 14.5 minute song or something.
Yeah.
And I look at him and I'm like, Zach Galifianakis, where you're like, ooh, yeah. You know what I mean? You're like, we're on the same wavelength, brother. And so I was like, yeah, I got it. We'll put it on right now. So like I put it on, and the security and the manager looked at me like, okay, then that's it. You know, and I'm like, all right. So we put it on, like 2 minutes go by, 3 minutes go by. He's dancing, everyone's dancing. They look at me, they're like, what's, you know, they do the thing. And this whole podcast is all about this. And I'm like, it's still going. I don't know. So like 5 minutes go by, and they're like, I'm like, still go, I don't know. And then so like 6 minutes go by.
I like the reverse.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm doing this, they're doing this.
Yeah.
And then so then like 7 minutes go by, and they're like, what the hell? So they come over, he comes back to like protect me, and they're like, what's going on here? This is crazy. You keep restarting the song. And I go, no, this is the song. It's a long song. And they're like, we said one song. And he's like, this is one song. You said one song. I picked the one song. This is the song I want. I'm like, this is the most Bill Murray shit I've ever seen. This is the best moment of my life. And so finally, I think it must have been 10 minutes, maybe 9 or 11 minutes, something. And they were like, turn it off. Like the police are here, you know? So I had to just echo it out. And then he looked, and then like, I look around to see if he's going to be like, turn it back on. And he's nowhere to be found. And I just like looked to the left, and we were in a hotel. And the doors had opened from the place we were at to show like the hallway towards the elevators to the hotel. And I just see his back, like in a movie, like walking away towards the elevator, just like his silhouette. And I was like, oh my God, that was the craziest thing ever. And then the photographer from the party was like, I got a picture of him talking to you. And I was like, you got to send me that. So I got the picture, and I put it like
so
on Instagram,
sick.
oh my God. So that was, and then I watched that Bill Murray movie like a couple years later, where like he would show up at people's house and do dishes and stuff. And I felt like that was one of those stories. I'm like, I could have put that in there. Like I had one.
Man.
Yeah.
You have literally done it all. And like,
Yeah.
I went back and I went back and looked at some of your IG moments today, and I was just blown away. Because I mean, even when I was out, I played a gig out in LA, and I hit you up, and I was like, hey, what's going on? You're like, you were playing a party with Ryan Seacrest or something like that. You're like, oh, you know, we do this all the time. It's me and Ryan.
Well, I do their holiday party. I got hired to do their holiday party one year, and then he was so cool. He he talked about me on the radio show and did all this cool stuff. And then the next year they hired me, and then I actually thought maybe they'd let me do a digital one this year, or, you know, but that didn't happen. But
he's listening to this. We'll get that all sorted.
Yeah,
Ryan,
you know,
sorry,
we'll let
buddy,
him
come
know.
on.
We'll let him know.
Mr. Crest.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, try to get in where I fit in. I don't know. Some of these things are crazy. I mean, like, yeah, just, you know, get in with these right event planners, and they'll just plug you into some of the weirdest situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them I had to sign like non-disclosure agreements where I just can't say this, you know, who the people were, and it was just like, did that really happen? Like, it's like crazy.
Yeah, and I love the Bill Murray story, but the picture I want more than that is you listening into Seth Rogen, where you're just like,
yeah, and trying to mix at the same time.
I was like, I want to hear what they're talking about. So
we will end the lightning round with this question. We ask it every episode, and then we're going to get into some questions about you. Hall & Oates or Outkast?
I mean, come on, that's so different. How are you going to do that? I'm going Outkast. I will pick, but that's crazy. But I mean, look what I got just sitting right here. We got here we go. Boom, ready for you.
Yes.
It's him and I.
Yes.
Yeah, and funny, I was like streaming, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play Aquemini, and I put it on. I have none of this album in my Serato. I only have, I have the instrumental of Aquemini song in my computer. I'm like, that's so crazy. Like, my shit just started and stopped at a certain area. But yeah, this is I think this thing was like a triple vinyl, or quadruple maybe.
That's
big. Yeah,
it's a long album.
It's a long.
I know. Yeah, I think it was a long album, and they wanted to, because I have like the AT-Aliens is like all pressed onto one, and it's like you had to turn the gain like to the highest possible thing when you used to play the record of it. So they made the grooves a little bigger.
Proper.
But come on, I don't have the Hall & Oates record just chilling. No offense.
Yeah.
That's
fine. We'll throw Hall & Oates away. No problem.
Just throw them in the garbage.
Throw them away. They cease to exist.
Let's get into some interesting questions here.
Okay.
You're starting a band. You are the
Okay.
DJ. Travis Barker is going to be the drummer. Who
Sounds
is
good.
the MC and who is the guitarist?
Who's the MC and the guitarist?
Yep.
Oh my God, I don't know. I mean, Tom Morello.
There you
be
go.
The guitarist. Or the guy from Extreme. What was his name? Betancourt or something.
Yeah.
No, I'll go Tom Morello because that could be cool. You could do like scratch off Rage Against the Machine type thing over Travis playing drums, and then an MC. Oh God.
Or singer. I mean,
Oh, okay.
Ray Liotta.
Rihanna. I don't know. Like Andre 3000 because he's sitting next to me. I don't know if it would go with the music that good, but he might.
Just
be
as long as he brings his flute.
Yeah, he can play the lute. On that.
Yeah,
lute gang.
Off
Give me the
top,
lute.
Give me a loot. Give me the loot. Off the top of the dome here, what's the first record you owned, and what is your grail record? Like, if your place is burning down, you got to grab one record.
Oh man. I mean, full disclosure, I have tons of records, thousands, probably tens of thousands. But I've never like been so much of a collector, like in a way. Like I almost I bought so many records either to just sample or to be able to DJ with them. I've never been so much into like, I need this or that, even though I did spend endless money on it. But my first record, I think my very first record that I bought was a scratch record, and it was 2 records came in the pack, which is why I bought it. And it was like on Melrose at the spot Beat Nonstop in like the early 90s, and it was a DJ Rectangle record, and they were color vinyl, and one was a cream color and one was a blue color. And I thought, okay, I need to have 2 records in one, and they would have beats and scratches on both. So I thought it was like the perfect thing to get. And then from there, I think probably my first like musical record was like a drum and bass or jungle record. Like, I don't know, maybe like Super Sharpshooter DJ Zinc or something like that, like Ganja Crew. I don't know, actually, something like that. But I remember just scratch records. I wanted to learn to scratch. That's what I wanted to do. And my friends had some other music, and I knew we could like trade off, and they would let me borrow them, and then I could scratch over it. So DJ Rectangle, I was like, okay, it's $20. That's all I got. Like, let's go. And but the Grail record, oh man, I don't know. I'm not good with those. But I mean, just maybe a Gangstar record or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shit, I'm gonna seem whack to some super collector DJs, but
no, somebody on YouTube is gonna come for your head. That's all.
Sorry,
they out to get all of us. So
I don't know.
You're fine.
Smash that bell, like, subscribe.
Hey, there we go. Shout out to all of our people that subscribe to YouTube. Go ahead and smash the like, smash the subscribe, ring the bell, get notified whenever we drop a podcast every Monday. Hey, Spider, what was your first concert, and what is your favorite concert that you've been to?
Oh man, I don't know if I remember my first. I remember, embarrassingly enough, going to I think there was a band, like a hair metal band, but that was almost like soft rock, that was called Tesla back in the day. They were on like some White Snake, like I can't remember if that was their name, but I feel like my friend's older brother was like, we're going to the Tesla show in Orange County, and I just vividly remember going to that show with him, and like that was that. But some of my early concerts,
Oh, you got it, Tesla.
Yeah, that was them. Exactly. That was them. What's their big song? I feel like it may have been with Whitesnake.
What, modern day cowboy?
Probably. I mean, I don't even know.
I'm
like
just
I
going
said, it
off
was
their
like my
top
friend's older brother. Yeah, I'm looking them up. Yeah, this is them. Oh, that's them for sure. Yeah, modern day cowboy. No, Signs. I think Signs was the big song that everybody would sing. Yeah, we can't play music on this show, right? You get pulled off. Okay. So I think that was it. But I remember it was at the Universal Amphitheater in Orange County, and which, funny enough, when I did the Blink 182 tour, we did the final show ever at that place, and that was my first show ever. So that's a weird thing. But yeah, it was not the Universal Amphitheater. Sorry, Irvine Meadows in Irvine, California. But no, I mean, some of my most memorable shows were, I mean, the Beastie Boys, seeing the Beastie Boys at Universal Amphitheater. And I went to any Beastie Boys show I could ever go to, I would go to. And so their shows were just the best, the best of the best of the best. Just so amazing. I had the greatest time of my life. As well as just one show. Well, I saw them a few times, but their show was so much better than anything I'd ever seen. Was De La Soul. Like, it was just what Maceo did as a DJ in their show was so dope. Like, every other hip hop group I would see would just kind of like either rap over the records, or it was just very basic, like, yo, what up? We're saying a thing. Like, you predicted what was going to happen. And with them, it was put together so well. They had all these routines. I saw them at House of Blues in Hollywood. I saw them at downtown at a spot a few times. And every time I'd see them, it was amazing. And Maceo would do this thing where he'd have a medley. And everything's on vinyl. There's no, Serato or anything. And I remember they would do this chant kind of thing. They go, we're taking it back to the old school. And I think it was over like, da 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 da. They go, we're taking it back to the old school. I might be remembering this wrong, but they would do like 4 bars, and then he would bring in a classic song, and they would like rap it for like a second, and then go back, and then to the in between part and do it. And it was like hyping the crowd up so hard, and it was just like a DJ, and it was Maceo utilizing his DJ thing, but with them emceeing and hyping it up, and just the way it would like build the crowd up, and it became such a party. And then they would bring their songs in, and then do songs from like Balloon Mind State, and just so many classic tracks that it was just like I left there just like buzzing, like feeling so good and loving it. So that and Beastie Boys, De La and Beastie Boys are probably some of my best shows.
Oh yeah. Solid. I'm so bummed that their discography isn't on any streaming. That always bugs me out. Like, there's so many people that would love them if they could just hear them.
Well, Tommy Boy, I guess.
Yeah, I got their discography when they put it out for free that one year. Everything.
Oh,
you remember that? This was like back in like 2014.
I don't think I downloaded it.
Yeah, 2014. They were like, "Yo, fuck it, we're putting it out," and everything came out.
Yeah, the ones in my computer are probably literally I took the CD and just like imported it, and those are the MP3s I have. So I have what I have, and then I have a lot on record that I don't have in my computer. But that's so crazy. I know. I can't believe
man.
that.
It's crazy that it's been this long.
Yeah,
and it sucks for like kids that can't.
It does.
Hear it.
It does.
That's the biggest letdown, is that like younger people will not get a chance to listen to that until this whole thing's taken apart. Because now it's like, we can talk about it and we know all about it, we can hear it. So it's like it's become sort of like a club almost, like, to be a De La Soul fan,
right?
But these kids can't go back and like.
Can you buy it though? Can you buy the MP3s? I wonder.
No, you can. It's literally not available. Like,
right.
Tommy Boy pressed their first album, 3 Feet, for like Vinyl Me Please, and De La Soul was like pissed because they didn't want it out. And so
I remember they were like boycott them.
It's like a super hard record to get a hold of now because they didn't want it out, and there was only a certain amount that went out. So now it's like, if it is out there, like, and you're a fan, it's like, should I even buy this?
Right.
Yeah, I know, it's tough. Oh man, that sucks.
I think they should make it like TikTok and just blow it up on TikTok. That way it goes viral that way and be like, yo, this is De La Soul. Like,
but they can't.
the
That's
same
the
thing.
whole thing. Is that
Tommy Boy, they have
do
the master,
anything,
so they get paid.
Yeah.
right? If they do anything, they get the record label paid, and that's the whole disagreement.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, why don't they make this is the perfect opportunity? Make it an NFT.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
Exactly what I was about to say. But
Can they do
Tommy
that?
Boy would do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or can De La do that and then see if Tommy Boy can sue them? Like, has anyone ever got sued off an NFT yet? Like, what will happen?
Yeah.
Can they set the precedent? Or what I don't understand is, like, can they do like what Taylor Swift did and just why don't they remake every single song?
That's what I was just gonna say. Is they're gonna have to do that shit that Taylor Swift
Get
did.
the Mahanan
Michael
Street
McDonald
Band
did
to like replay it. You know?
Yeah.
Like that would be.
I would hate it. I would listen to it and I'd be cool with it, but like you hear the difference and I hate it.
Yeah, because it turns into a repress. It's a repress.
But I've never heard a hip hop act do that. I've only heard.
I know
like,
it could be good.
That.
Let's NFT it. What's going on? I'm gonna go on Macio's Twitch chat after this.
Yeah.
You ever heard of NFTs? Buddy?
Yeah, for sure. Mace.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. We found the solution.
Happy birthday. NFT. Okay. It's way more than 100 bits.
Now, Spider, do you have anything being sold NFT right now?
No, I don't have anything that you could like go and type in my name and buy as an NFT right now, unless you wanted to buy some of my like NBA Top Shot cards. So I guess I have those, but not like I have a collection of NFT stuff like that. But I don't have anything that I have minted yet. I actually have been working on a few things with some people. I didn't want it just to be the same old thing that everybody's doing and just trying to jump into it. And all of this has been so interesting to me that it's kind of allowed me to just go into an experimental mode and almost like tap back into my mentality from like 20 years ago of just like, I just want to make beats to make beats, like make art to make art and like do that. So I started making beats and sending it to my friend who actually did this painting right here. His name is Urban Medium, if you check him out on Instagram. And him and I used to do art and music shows in Atlanta and LA about 15 to 20 years ago. And we came out with this whole project called the Heavy Ammunition Project, where I made a custom mixtape where I got like rappers to rap over like the Far Side Running and like all this stuff. He created this really super dope artwork. We made custom packaging, and then it was almost like NFTs. Like we made 100 ammunition boxes, like army ammunition boxes that were filled with the special CD, a poster, a shirt, stickers, all this stuff. And you could buy it off the website, or we would throw these art shows in LA and Atlanta where he would have the physical paintings of all of his stuff everywhere. And I would DJ and my hip hop group would perform and stuff like that. And so we'd sell the paintings there and sell the boxes. And that's actually where I met Clever out in Atlanta at one of those shows. It was the beginning of Serato. I remember I showed him Serato and he's like, what the hell is this? So I hit him up like, hey, and we've been friends still forever. He's done my websites and my logos and so many things. I mean, he designed my whole Twitch thing right now, and he actually does Little John's Twitch, all the artwork, and he runs the back end on it every Saturday night. He's the one doing it. We talk all the time, but I hit him like, yo, look at this shit. This is crazy. Like, this is almost like what we were doing, but we could get back into it. So I started making beats. Like, my thought was like, let me make some boom bap kind of beats that like I used to make back in the day on my MPC and that kind of stuff. Send it to him, because that was what our whole project was. And in the NFT space, I had more seen just EDM things or trap beats or all that stuff, which goes with the futuristic theme. But I thought, what if we tap into that, the 90s hip hop kind of sound, and put it with the futuristic artwork? And then also, he's so amazing. I just trust whatever he wants to do. And also, we're both into like Top Shot, and I've been very into Top Shot. So, without giving away the whole thing, basically, like, we started making things. We created a website called nftapes.co, like NFTAPES.co. We have that website. So hopefully I will be the founder of the very first website that lets people do mixtapes in NFT form. But we have this site. So we thought of this way that we want to make these NFT mixtape things, but then it's evolved from there to like these packs sort of. So if you go to his Instagram, Urban Medium, you'll see the snippet of the first one that we're going to put out. And it almost looks like it's a mini disc mixed with like an NBA Top Shot pack and like a 3D thing. And it reacts to the music and has all this really dope artwork. And there's a beat that I made using like samples off Splice that are like, they sound like old soul samples, but like I chopped them up and it's royalty free. So I can still sell it. So we put that one out. We have a bunch of them we're going to make and put out and mint them and just put them out there. There's a way bigger idea for the concept. We'll see what happens. Like, I'm hoping that it's going to turn into this producer pack thing, and I'm going to be able to get other producers involved, and it'll be collectible, and they'll have like a lot of a big story behind it and a lot of reasons why people would want to collect it. And it's really going to be a good merger of art and music and something that can have a long-term thing and that could help other artists that want to get into it and hopefully make money and have fun. And it's just been fun, honestly, to just sit and make beats for it and tap into that. So I'm going to do that. You know, I'm not expecting to sell $11.9 million worth like in 5 minutes, but I just want to do it for fun and just learn about this. And just even through that, it's helped me learn about way more opportunity within all of these worlds and what you can do with all of this stuff.
It's super sick, man.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It's like it's a first in flight kind of thing because whoever's there right now and making the moves is getting all the recognition, really, because there's only a few players right now that are really shaking things up, and it's all
it's very part of like that scene. So I was talking to a couple like really like big people from the old school hip hop world that are very well connected and done a lot of stuff, and telling them my idea, and they're like, oh my, and then they like expanded upon it to the point where I was like freaking out, like that's the best thing I've ever heard. And then so we're getting to a point where we have this amazing idea, I just don't know if we can pull it off. So in the meantime, I'm gonna just make sort of examples of what they are and things that I think will be dope, put them out there. We'll see where that goes. And then if we could get to the bigger idea behind it, that would be really cool. You know, we'll see what happens.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do want to take a sec and talk about you having one of my favorite podcasts. And that is the 20 podcast. You drop it every week, right?
Every week, every week. You know, usually Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays, but during the week sometimes. You know, you guys know how it is, hard to keep on schedule with everything. But yeah, every week I do a podcast interviewing either a DJ or a music producer or a music industry kind of person, a tech person that's in the music world and something like that. Yeah,
and honestly, like I said, we all listen to it every week, but I wanted to pose the question to you. What have you learned from starting a podcast?
A lot. I mean, a whole lot. Like, and it's been an evolution of it, you know, because in the beginning, I thought that, okay, I'm going to do a podcast. In the beginning, I wanted to do a podcast called Is This Real Life? And I wanted to just tell insane stories where you're like, is this real life? I can't believe this is happening. And actually, it was 4 or 5 years ago. I did start that with Morse Code and my friend Jake Pashinsky and some people. And we did like 4 like pilot episodes on Dash Radio, and it was cool. But all this weird stuff happened. Like I lost my voice. Like I had these growths on my vocal cords, and I had to get surgery, and I couldn't talk for like 2 months. It was the weirdest thing ever. Damn. And that kind of like killed my whole, it was really weird going to clubs and flying around the country and trying to explain to people that you can't use your voice and they're drunk and you're just like,
they're
no,
going like this.
Yeah. And I'm literally like, I think, my AirPods are dying, so I'm going to like charge them one at a time here. But can you hear me still?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna like charge it and then flip it out, I guess. I don't know. So you know, I wanted to do that, and I thought I'm just gonna do a podcast where we tell funny stories. I'm never gonna talk about anything serious. Like, that's it. Then when this podcast started, I do it in conjunction with Beat Source, and they have a playlist called the 20 Playlist, and they wanted to highlight that, but they really wanted to give me the freedom to do whatever I wanted. So like, come up with any ideas, but try to incorporate the 20 Playlist and the music. So I thought in the beginning, this will be a way for me to, just the same way we do, we go over songs, you know, and it's a way for DJs to relate to each other, and an icebreaker if you don't know somebody and whatever. So I would do the beginnings of the podcast talking about songs, then do a short interview kind of like this. And I noticed, like you noticed, you can start to get demonetized, like on the YouTube and then on Spotify and all that stuff. They'll pull you off and all the different platforms. So that isn't exactly why I stopped doing the music, but once COVID hit and I had to do the podcast like this, I felt, you know, Zoom in the beginning was the worst sound ever. And so I didn't want to play someone's hard song they work so hard on for a DJ and then have the DJ go, oh, this sucks. And then they didn't really hear it. So I thought, okay, we'll take a pause on that. I mean, I thought the pandemic was going to be 2 weeks, like everybody, you know, so I thought, oh, we'll be back. So I just didn't, I stopped doing that. So it became more of a long-term interview show. And then from there, but it was still somewhat lighthearted and whatever. But then I feel like so many crazy, serious things happened, like from the pandemic to the George Floyd thing with the Black Lives Matter movement. And like a lot of serious things were happening in the world where you could not ignore it. And if you did, you were kind of a jerk, you know? And so I realized, oh God, I got to like talk about serious things on the podcast here. And it makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable, but maybe that's good, you know? So, like it just, things like that, like it helped me step into that and then realize that everybody, like everyone likes telling the funny stories, but it is good to talk about the real life things. And we're all just humans going through the same thing. And when I talk to a DJ that's somewhat unknown, all the way up to someone like Jazzy Jeff, we're all, or Z-Trip or somebody, we're all going through the similar things. We're all humans. We're all DJs that are connected by the same thread. And we're all like dealing with things in many ways, like ego. I mean, things that DJ AM used to talk about, you know, feed the soul, starve the ego. Like that still rings true to this day. And so I've just learned a lot about that it's okay to be serious about things sometimes, and it's okay to talk about things seriously and ask people for help and act like you don't know things. Like I used to think I had to like act like I knew everything, but I realized the more I realize I don't know stuff, it becomes fun to learn from the guests on the podcast and to learn about myself and how I react to certain situations. And so I feel like every week I learn so much from these guests, whether it's musical things, mental health things, working out things about their experience within coming up where they grew up, or their culture or their background or whatever. Like it's just a lot. And so that, and honestly, the most thing I've learned is to shut up. Because I talk a lot, and I think, you know, I used to go out to dinner with people with my wife, and she'd be like, you didn't ask one question, you just like talked the whole time. And I'm like, oh shit. And I think like I've had to really learn to like shut up, fully listen to the person, what they're saying, take it in, let myself hear it, then come back and talk to them and you know, like be able to relate to what they're saying, and almost give myself techniques to try to remember what they said, because it's hard after a while. Right. So things like that, just interviewing techniques. People are like, oh, you're good at interviewing. And I'm like, no, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like I've learned as I go, and I feel like I've gotten better, but it's, you know, so yeah, I've learned about interviewing, I've learned about myself, and I've learned about basically all that stuff that I said.
And I think you have interesting guests too. I think that's what separates your podcast, where you are in the DJ realm, but you're all over. You're the far corner grabbing these people. It's not just like paint by numbers, you know, boom, boom, boom. It's like everyone from all sorts of realms, which is what keeps me tuned in.
Thank you. I mean, I try to do that, and even recently, like I was looking at like how many women I had on. It was like not enough, you know. And I try to look at like all those factors, because yes, it's great to like go, everyone's a human, we're all just DJs. But like, what do you mean? Everybody definitely is different races and different genders, and if you don't acknowledge that like you're just sort of, I don't know, it's like you're just ignoring. Like, so I want to make it as diverse as possible in every respect, whether it's people's sexual preference or race, gender, this, that. And like, so I've tried to make a bigger push, even just in this past month, to have a lot more women on there, and figure out what they want to talk about, you know. And I even got a message 2 nights ago, and this girl was like, I really appreciate you as a man, like having all these women on and letting them have the platform. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, that's cool to hear. And and then thank God for some of the people that are associated with the podcast. Anthony, the digital marketing person, and a lot of people that are from, you know, DJ City and Beat Source will have these recommendations of people that I don't know. Like this guy, Michael Brunn, who's a Haitian producer, and he came on, and I mean, his story was unbelievable, and getting to learn from him. Or DJ Spinall from Nigeria, and they're like, he's here in LA. Do you want to come? Do you want to interview him? I'm like, yeah, like that'll be amazing. So just try to hit all the different things. And then with doing it virtually, it's not just having to wait till Spinall is in LA from Nigeria. Now I talked to someone yesterday in Australia, you know, it's amazing. And then I talked to someone else in Germany, and then and so I just try to hit all the angles, old, young, you know, music producer, tech person, DJ, scratch DJ, straight producer kind of DJ, and some are bigger than others, you know, I guess. But yeah, I just and DJs I've just found on Twitch, you know what I mean? I found like Arcade, so dope, and like I'm like, I need to shine light on this dude, like, you know what I mean? And different people that I've and women DJs I've seen on Twitch, like, oh, these people need people to know about them, you know?
Yeah. We had King Most and Stank Palmer on here, and I was like, the only reason I know about Stank Palmer is because Spider put all of us on. Like, I wanted to find you. I love your music. And that's like, thanks to Twitch, like, I love that. To find
he was the best. In the beginning, I mean, I would put him on every morning at 9 a.m. and I would just listen. I'm like, this dude has the best taste in music ever. And then I didn't even realize that he did the podcast with King Most. Until later, I realized. But I'm like, oh, you're John Reyes? Like, what the hell? I didn't know that. I thought you're Stank Palmer. But yeah, I mean, he's amazing. And exactly, I wouldn't have known about him. And then all the people that we get raided into. And then even people I know. I think I've known Nina Mendoza forever. I feel like I hung out with her in Vancouver 15 years ago on a corner when like U-Turn was DJing, and we were outside, and I remember hanging out with her and all these things. I had no idea that she's like this amazing DJ, the best taste in music, hilarious person, just like all around, you know. So many people, I've even gotten to know them better when I just saw their Instagram. So I'd see like, they'd be like, yo, you know, but like, not that she's like that, but you know, different people that you don't know, and you almost judge them off just seeing their tweet or their Instagram. And then you get to know them so much better on Twitch and get to know their personality and their music taste and see how much they match up with. Like I've said, going forward, there's so many people that I respect their taste and their personality that now I feel like if I get asked for people to do private events and I can't do it, I know I have so many great people that I feel like I could recommend. I mean, hopefully they'd be like professional and a good environment.
Right. Outside of the house.
At least you know their DJing is solid.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like really, you know, it's great. Like I love that. And I never would have heard them. When would I ever have heard them? I can't go out all the time and see people DJing. Like my goal is to DJ all the time, you know, or be home. So I never see them. So I really love that part of it. I hope that it keeps going in some respect, the streaming thing for people.
I think it will, man. It's just a different world down there, man.
It's just another thing to add on too. Yeah. You know, like it doesn't have to be like this or that. I think it's just like another thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's kind of interesting to see how Twitch has, the pandemic and Twitch has kind of opened up like this new gateway for DJs. A lot of guys who weren't playing in the clubs or weren't even like heavy in mobile or whatever, you know, are now pretty solidly rooted in stream DJing, and stream DJing is a real thing. Like guys and gals are making a living streaming on Twitch as DJs.
And there's people that have been doing it before. Like I saw some chick on this girl's, thousands of people, and I'm like, damn, she's killing it. Like, where did she come from? And I look, she's like, this is my second year, third year or something. I'm like, oh, they've been on it.
Yeah, there's people who have been on it, and who aren't like, you know, it's not new necessarily, but everybody, I think once the pandemic hit, everybody's like, oh, remember that thing that some people was doing? Now we all got, like, if we want to get out there, that's the only thing that's possible.
Right. And I remember I used to stream on Ustream, like back in the day. I would do video DJ sets, and I'm like, this is the future. I'm going to do this all the time. Like, and I'm going to do this in it, but it just, the internet wasn't enough. No one had enough bandwidth. You couldn't watch it on your phone. You know, it was like, get to your computers and turn me on. You know, it just didn't work. Some stuff's just too early. But yeah, I mean, I think now is a good time for that. And some people, oh my God, you put in the work, you can really have a career out of it. And it's great to see. I mean, and it's nice to see the support of the communities, you know, towards these people. Even today, someone comes into my stream, I don't know who they are, and they do 10 subscriptions, and I'm like, that's amazing. Like, who the hell are you? I love you. Like, that's crazy. Like, it just blows my mind that like someone's gonna do that, you know, in my Twitch stream ever. It's just crazy.
Definitely.
Was it Ray Liotta or Bill Murray?
I think it was Ray Murray. He was coming.
Ray Murray.
Dr. Drake.
It's both of them. Hey, who's playing Spider? Who's playing DJ Spider in a movie?
All right, so we have our DJ biopic multiverse, like our cinematic universe, and so all the DJs
casting
that have
for
been
it
in
right
show,
now.
Yeah, we're in the middle of casting for it. Warren's really pissed about our budget because it's through the roof.
Uncle Warren is all right, man.
He's not happy about it, but it's going to be a huge hit. But everybody's casting
Warren?
themselves.
That's what I want to know.
We haven't gotten there yet.
We haven't decided.
We haven't gotten to Warren yet.
We haven't decided. Papa Warren's coming up. And he hasn't decided, but I have a couple people in mind if he doesn't choose.
So I choose my own actor.
Yeah, everybody's casting themselves.
Yes.
Someone that I want or that I think other people would say.
Well, for example, Bird did Idris Elba, which makes sense, right?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't think of anyone else. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, either Idris Elba or Prince Harry is the only people I can think of.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. That's a good one, actually.
Oh, gosh. I mean, yeah, I was going to do something funny like that. But, I mean, look, you know, I'm going to say something sad. But something that sort of annoyed me my whole life of someone that would say to me. But sadly, recently, in recent events, R.I.P. Yeah, Screech. You know, I've been called Screech since middle school, and I never liked it. And but now he passed away, and you know, I guess I could go with him. There's also that guy. What's his name? Ben Schwartz. A lot of people say I look like him. I guess.
He's a good one.
But you know what I'm gonna say? The person that people have told me I look like, and I don't know if I fully see it, but I respect this. And if anyone's gonna play me in a movie, Tom Hanks, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. I love that.
I don't think I look like Tom Hanks, but to like certain people there's like a type of person that sees me as Tom Hanks, because there will you look just like Tom Hanks, bro. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, some type of person's eyeballs they're all over the world. People say this to me. you look just like Tom Hanks. Has anyone ever told you that? I'm like, yes, they tell me all the time, and I've never see it. But I mean, let's go. That's a good person to play.
Yeah.
in
It's
the
kind of
movie.
like cilantro. Like some people
Yeah,
think
no,
it
that's
tastes like
exactly what
soap.
it is.
You're allergic to the
Some
stems
peop-
or something. I don't know.
Some people think you look like Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Right.
I do want to touch base on this for 1 sec. Spider, you are a part of the Deckstar alumni.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the best DJs to ever grace the decks in the universe, in the galaxy.
Man,
And
I was
quote
honored.
me
Goats.
on that. The goats.
Goats.
You are amongst the goats. You are a goat yourself. I want to do this. A Deckstar superlative. So we'll start with some quick questions here. Of the Deckstar roster, who had the deepest crates?
Crates?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh man. Probably AM.
Okay, sure. Who was the best dressed?
I mean, probably AM. He had the dopest shirts, dopest
Okay.
shoes.
Who is your favorite to go back to back with?
I will say Kevin Scott has some deep crates though. Well, I mean, anytime I was able to DJ in any respect with AM was dope, but also was so nerve-wracking that it's almost not fun. Like, looking back on it, like if I would have known what was going to happen, like probably would have taken more advantage of some situations, but
Yeah.
I'd be so nervous that like it was like I don't even know if I could enjoy it. Or when he was behind me, I remember so many times him DJing like, I'm coming to see you. I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy and honored, and also like, now I'm freaking out. So yeah, but I mean, he was amazing. DJ Scene, so much fun. That's how I
Scene.
met Scene. We got booked for a MySpace party. Well, actually, I met Scene, I think, through like the underground hip hop world. I had a hip hop group, and we met because we were both in like that kind of world. But then in the other world, I got booked for this MySpace party at the Showbox Theater in Seattle, and they were like,
Oh,
"Yo,
yeah.
the other MySpace DJs, this guy DJ Scene, and we want you guys to do a 4 turntable show." I'm like, "Yeah, I never met him. I don't know what we're gonna do." They're like, "It's fine. You guys just go do it." So that was our first thing together, and I'm like, "This guy's amazing. He scratches weird opposite way, and
Yeah.
he's so good. He's a beast." So he was so fun to go back and forth. I mean, but I will say Steve Wonder is like my original DJ partner. Like me and Steve Wonder came up together. He's my brother, you know. So we, before Serato ever existed, we did 4 turntable vinyl sets, and that was what we did. And we would DJ places with 4 turntables, and we had full on routines, and we entered contests, and we won the Scion Rock mixtape challenge, you know, by doing a 4 turntable rock set, you know, and then we won the mashup challenge, and then we won every Scion contest, but then we never got anything from it, but like we won it, and we got to like open for Pete Rock and Biz Markie and all these cool people, but I think it was like the person that ran Scion like would let their boyfriend do like the real like tours and cool shows, and we would just kind of be on the side. But and then Steve like pissed her off, and we never worked with him. But no, Steve's my dude. I mean, me and Steve have the ultimate chemistry with DJ partner stuff. And we made every mashup, every first blend mashup I made. I mean, every record we recorded it. You know, I would record in as many records as I could that night, send him the MP3s. He would record in as many he could, send them to me. You know, we met AM together. Like we went to Las Vegas to do this gig for Bongo Jeans at the Magic Convention, which is a clothing convention in Las Vegas. And I remember we brought 8 crates of records, my Vestax turntables, my Rain 56 mixer, and this thing called Serato that was an SL1 box that had just come out, and a computer. And we drove out to Vegas, and we DJ. I remember it was 8 hours a day, 4 days in a row. We would DJ. I think it was from 10 to 6 or something, 10 a.m. to 6 or 9 a.m. to 5. And they gave us a hotel room. We packed my Ford Explorer. We had to bring speakers, everything. And I remember, I think we got paid like $900 for like all 4 days, and a room at the Rio. And I thought we were like killing the game. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, this is the biggest thing I've ever done. Like, this is insane. And yeah, like so Steve was my dude. But yeah, we went out and did that, and Nicole Richie was the spokesperson of Bongo Jeans. So I remember on the second or third day, they were like, "Oh, Nicole Richie's coming in to like do this," and all the press and everyone's gonna come in here. And also, her boyfriend is this guy DJ AM, and he usually gets paid so much money to DJ, like $5,000 an hour, and we are gonna pay him like $3,000. And I was like, wait, aren't we getting $900?
Yeah.
So I'm like that Zach Galifianakis with like the mask going on in front of me. You know what I mean? I'm like, so I'm like, how is he gonna do it? What? So I'm like, what's going on? So he comes in and he's like, AM, you know, and he just has a backpack and he's like, what's up, B? He's like, oh, you want Serato? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, dope. And he opens it up. He's like, oh, you got the rain? Okay, dope. Okay, you got the turntables? And he goes and he gets on. And also, I had never used relative mode. Like I thought absolute mode was the only thing. Like we would record in the records all the way through, and then I would play it on absolute mode, but with the needle on the MP3 because I didn't know what you did. And so he comes in and he has these cue points. And he's playing pre-made mashups like Billie Jean with the Kill Bill whistle on it into another song that's 2 songs. And he's doing the cue point to get to the beginning fast and do doubles and then be like, bap, bap, doom, doom, bap, bap, you know, and like, bap, brrr. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And everybody's there. And girls are like foaming at the mouth, like, oh my God, I love you so much. and I'm like, and he's playing like, you know, in excess, like, and then like Kiss, like, you know, like Prince Kiss, and he's like doing the Kiss guitar, like, back, and I'm like, oh wait, this is crazy, like what this guy's doing. And then he's doing this crazy, like, I could do a crab scratch, but he had like the next level shit.
Yeah.
And I remember Steve, this is why Steve's my good friend. Steve was like, I remember saying, oh, he's got that same scratch you can do, and I was like, yeah, but there's something different. Like, I can do. I don't. That's not the one I can do. But I love you. That shows you're my brother because you're saying that you think I can do that. You know, that shows a true friend.
That's my dog. I ain't doing it like that, but you my dog.
Yeah, beyond. But yeah, that was crazy. That's where we met him, and I remember just thinking, that changed my life. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm like, this guy's getting paid this much, and he's doing something dope that he likes, and he was mixing in Redman and like dope hip hop and other things and this and that, and he's scratching, and it was just an hour. And you know, funny enough, there's a whole long ass YouTube video on YouTube of this day because it was way before cell phone cameras, and we had a flip camera, which was like these little cameras you
I remember
around,
those,
like,
yeah.
And we wanted to document the whole trip, so we did, and so we filmed the whole thing. So there's a video of us meeting DJ AM on YouTube, and there's a video of him doing that scratch, and Steve saying, "Yo, you can do that scratch," and me saying, "No, I don't think so," and like all this stuff. And little did we know, we're filming like the most classic AM scratches, like the most legendary things that he was known for later in life, and also. There's one of the most embarrassing moments of not embarrassing of my life, but it looks very embarrassing. Like, it's on there. Like Steve, like, I was standing next to AM just in awe, like looking at his thing, like trying to figure out what he's doing. And I wanted to ask him, like, what's going on with the relative mode. And so in my head, I remember like going, okay, waiting for that mix point. And then I was going to go say like, yo, so like, do you push the one, like, you know, or some kind of question. And I remember just waiting. And then like, so I go to ask. And then at the immediate second, like Nicole Richie, like goes right in front of me and kisses him. And they're kissing like right here. And then so I'm like,
yeah. Oh.
Damn.
Are we back?
We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back. So she comes over and kisses him, and I'm like, you know, that awkward shit someone's making out right in front of you, and so I'm just like, and then so I have to like turn my eyes the other way. It's like your parents are kissing or something, and I'm just like bobbing my head, like, yeah, bro, dude.
Oh no!
And then she walks away, and I'm like, cool, girlfriend. All right, good. And then so like I'm like, thank God nobody saw that. Steve, I didn't realize it was across the room filming me, and he was zooming in because you like zoom in on the flip cam. So there's a YouTube video of that entire exchange, and you hear Steve in the background like wheezing, laughing at me. He's like, ah. So like anyone that sees that video is like, hey bro, that's crazy. Do you mind if I like show people that or post it on the internet? I know it's very embarrassing. I'm like, I don't care. Like it's actually amazing to me. Like I'm not like, I don't think I'm the coolest guy in the world. Like I can't look like an idiot. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was just so that's all documented on there. And then crazy, that's how I met him, and that's how my whole life changed. That's how I met Kevin Scott. So shout out to DMS and shout out to all this shit.
Shout out.
Is that he finished his set, and he had used my needles but brought his needles out and put them down, and he gave me his business card when he left, and his business card was so dope. It was a picture of like a ticket that he got from the police when they had come to a party and like busted him, and it said like his name and all this stuff, and like that was his business card, was like getting busted by the police or something. And so I'm like, I guess I'm gonna call this fucking guy. And so I was like, yo man, you just left your needles in the booth. I'm like DJ Spider from before. And he's like, oh shit, yo, I'm at the airport. And I was like, oh damn. And he's like, yeah, I'm DJing a John Varvatos store opening right now. I'm literally, my flight takes off in like 45 minutes. Like, can you bring him to me? And I was like, who is this guy? And so I'm like, yo, this dude wants me to bring him his needles. I was like, well, I'm in the convention center. It takes me forever to get my car. And Steve's like, go. We're sitting here 8 hours a day. I can DJ. Go bring him the needles. And I was like, okay, fine. So I was like, okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And so like I just ran out, jumped my car, drive over there. And I'm like, yo, where you at? You know, terminal, whatever. I meet him at the thing. He runs up to the window. I hand him that blue needle box that everyone had. And I had my mixtape. It was called Pay Dues and Break Even. It was like this red cover. And it was like my sort of transition from being this underground hip hop DJ into trying to like do more dancey type stuff. But also I still had like rappers do custom versions on there. It was like a mix of all types of mixtapes. But I remember I gave it to him. I said, yo, just listen to this. Will you just take a minute, listen to this, you know, just cause he's like, yo, I owe you, dog. I owe you. Oh, that's what he said. He goes, I owe you. He goes, I know this guy. He has every Ultimate Breaks and Beats song on MP3. I'm going to introduce you to him. I'm going to give you it. You know, little do I know it's someone named Kevin Scott. So I go, yo, all good. You can give me that. But I go, just listen to my mixtape. I don't even care if you don't give me the song. Just listen to this. Tell me what you think if you have time. That's it. Go. I figure I'll never talk to the guy again. He hits me up. Yo, mixtape is so dope. Like, I want you to come to my club. I own a club called LAX. And I want you to come on a Wednesday night. This guy, Kevin Scott, opens for me on Wednesday nights. That's the big night. And you're going to meet him. He's going to hook you up. He does every Ultimate Breaks and Beats on MP3. And I'm like, all right. So that's how we go. Me and Steve go on a Wednesday night to this Hollywood club, LAX. We had never gone to, we didn't go to Hollywood clubs. You know what I mean? We went to like the Root Down, which is kind of like what the Do-Over kind of, like we went to like those kind of things. Hold on, I have to grab the power. Wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay, I've been doing this whole thing with no plug-in, I just realized. Like,
oh, wow.
Die. But yeah, so you can cut back in here, keep going. But yeah, so I meet Kevin Scott, and me and Steve, you know, we showed up at like 10:01. Like, I didn't know you're supposed to come to clubs late, you know. And we had never been to a Hollywood club. Was like douche central. Like, I hated everybody that went there. It was the stupidest thing in the world. I never would go to that crap, you know. And I remember we get there and we meet Kevin Scott, and we feel very out of place. And we're just kind of standing there by the booth, like, okay, we're awkward. And Kevin DJs, and we're like, damn, like, this dude is dope. Like, what the hell? He has like edits of things. Like I'd never heard like edits, you know what I mean? I bought the records. We would buy these like party rocker records, and I'd probably buy the direct music service vinyl. And funny enough, I would buy the direct music service vinyl at Rehab Records, which is turned into DJ City. Rehab Records was the actual vinyl record store. And I was like, damn, this dude has, first of all, he's so smooth. He knows how to mix it all together. He's playing 80s with this and that. He has the perfect warm-up set. Like, this is nuts. Then AM gets on, and by that point, it's like everybody's there, and it's Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan, every Hollywood person I've ever seen in the world. And, you know, everybody's like the hottest girl ever and all that stuff. And AM gets on and plays the craziest set ever. I mean, it's just and also goes into a whole chunk of 90s hip hop, and everyone's going crazy. And I'm like, what? You can do this here? Like, I like this guy even more. This is nuts. So that was like my introduction to like them and the whole thing and all that stuff. And then slowly but surely, like then from there, me and Steve we were like, yo, we got to do this. So then me and Steve started figuring out how to make edits, mashups, all the stuff. We would sort of make them thinking, okay, can we send this to Kevin Scott? Can we send this to AM? Can we send, you know, finally we met like Crooklyn Clan guys like Scissorhands and Riz, and like, and so tried to like copy what they were doing in a way and do it with our style. And because like I said, we had been doing these rock mixtapes, so we tried to like make a rock side of it and stuff. But yeah, that's how I met them and all that stuff, and that's how I got in. And then Kevin Scott let me open at LAX, and AM let me open at LAX a little bit. And that was the beginnings of, you know, me being friends with them, and that was even way pre Dexstar, any of that stuff. Like that was I don't know, I had one other thing I would say, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, that was the beginnings of, you know, just learning and meeting those dudes, and eventually, yeah, it turned into Dexstar, which was at first called the DJ Company, which is so funny because I remember they approached me and they were like LV, who LV was AM's manager, and then I got a manager. Oh no, what I was gonna say was, then I won I saw a contest in this magazine called BPM Magazine, and they were like, send in a 30-minute mixtape to Mark Ronson, and if you win, you get to go to Winter Music Conference in Miami and DJ with Mark Ronson, and also you go on a United States tour with him. And I was like, I've always wanted to go to a Winter Music Conference. Every year people would tell me about it. I don't think I'd ever been to Miami, period. And I'm like, yo, I just want to do that part of it. And then I get to go on a US tour. Like, let's go. Like, I'm just going to enter this, see what happens. I won the Scion ones. What could I do? So I just did it. I remember I stayed up all night. I was in my parents' garage, like recording it, and sent it in. And the guy who was in charge of BPM Magazine and the parties is Steve Aoki's manager now, and he's like huge boss, you know, Matt Colin, and that, yeah, I entered that contest and I won. And just side note on that, with just on some DJs out there, if you're listening, young or old DJs, I was gonna quit DJing. I remember thinking, this is not working. I was DJing once a week at a bar. I was getting $150. I couldn't support anything. I was falling apart. I was living in my parents' garage. I'd come back. It was just like a nightmare. And I remember saying, like, this is it. I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. I wanted to be a music supervisor. And I had that. I was the assistant to a lot of them. And I'd quit to be a DJ a bunch of times. And I was like, I'm just going to go back and do that. And I remember I literally got called that day. And it was like, hey, this is Matt. And hey, I'm here with Mark. And we picked your mixtape as the winning mixtape. And you're going to be playing at Club LAX Wednesday night. And I was like, oh, that's the club that AM owns that we went to. I'm like, that's insane. But remember, I told Kevin and AM, yo, I just won this thing. I get to play at your club. And they're like, that's so dope. We'll be there. And I got to, yeah, like open for Mark Ronson at this party. And it was like one of the most fun nights of my entire life. And I remember DJing there and Mark standing behind me and going, how the hell do you have time to make all of these edits? Because like every single thing I played was a custom edit. And I go, that's all I have is time. I go, I can't get gigs. That's why I entered the fucking contest. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. But I did, so yeah, like I got to do that. And then like that night, like helped prove that I could rock that room, I think. I don't know. I got to like talk to Kevin again and like see what his take on it is. But I feel like that led to me then being able to open for Kevin Scott on his nights, maybe open for Vice on the night he was filling in for AM, or open for somebody, or do a night there eventually, you know. So that was the beginning of all that stuff. And then slowly but surely, like once I won that contest, I got to go to Miami. I got to play a Winter Music Conference at Mansion and open for Ronson. But that turned into this insane show where it was DJ AM versus Mark Ronson show. And so it became the biggest show of Winter Music Conference. And these two other DJs, DJ Irie and Mr. Mauricio, who obviously are legends, were the other DJs of the night. I didn't know who they were, but I mean, they blew my mind, I mean, that night. And yeah, I had to open up the biggest room I've ever played in my life. And that night changed my life. I mean, the amount of big boss people that were there, from just, you know, booking people to DJs to fans to whoever. The amount of gigs I probably got off that night was so crazy. Like, I remember years later being at Lollapalooza and this guy's like, I want to introduce you to Cascade. And I'm like, I'm not trying to bother this guy, you know, and he's like, no, it'd be cool. And he's like, Cascade, this is DJ Spider. And he's like, oh, Spider, what's up? I know who you are. And I was like, yeah, right. It was like one of those things where like they say that and do you think they're being nice? And he goes, yeah, I saw you at Mansion, Miami, Winter Music Conference, and you opened for AM and Mark Ronson. I was like, oh, you actually did. And he's like, yeah, you're playing mashups. And I'm like, that was crazy. And I was like, oh, thank you, sir. You know, and then he proceeds to like walk barefoot up to like the biggest stage in the world. And be like, I am the king of the world. Like, okay, that guy knows who I am. See you later. But yeah, that shit was crazy. And then I got to go on this tour with Mark Ronson, like that was just life changing. Like it wasn't even that many cities, probably 5 cities, but I got to go to New York, you know what I mean? Like, and go to his studio. And it was a studio that was a legendary studio that all these people had recorded in, and Tribe Called Quest, and he was in it at the time, and he was making music with this person named Lily Allen and this person named Amy Winehouse that like hadn't even come out yet. And he's like, I work with the Dap Kings, and we're making this funk sound, and it's almost like a Motown. This girl, she sounds like all this Amy Winehouse. You gotta check it out. And I remember listening like, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. And like, I just feel crazy, you know. And then we went to Philly, and that's where I discovered Be More Music, like this guy Brendan Brigham, and just seeing them DJ and the way they DJ'd, and Spank Rock was there, and like all this stuff. I was like, what is this? And Hollertronics, and it was just, all of it was just coming at me like so fast. And all that shit just led to so much. And then that's when I got a manager. I got booked in the Bay Area by this guy, Scott Murphy, and he managed this guy, DJ Morse Code. And me and Morse Code did a show, and I was like, damn, this guy Morse Code is like the coolest, funniest, best guy, such a great DJ. And his manager at the end of the night was like, hey, let me manage you. I was like, who the hell are you? You manage this guy in the Bay Area, but like, what do you? He's like, I'm cool with LV, AM's manager. And I don't know, like it was all this stuff happened, and I ended up doing it and signing on with him. And that's when a couple weeks later, he's like, yo, we talked to LV. We want to AM wants to start a management company. And he wants you to be like basically the first DJ on there. Or I don't know if I was the first, or I was like me and Homicide and Kevin and a couple people, you know, and he's like, it's called the DJ Company. And I'm like, that's not the best name. And then like, you know, after a while, my first checks, that's what they said, the DJ Company. I remember saying it. And then they changed it to Dexstar, and it started growing, and DJ Scene came on, DJ Fashion, you know, the A-Team, Grand Theft, Rap, you know, Them Jeans, and Steve Aoki. But Steve Aoki wasn't like under him. He almost like was like partnered with them in a way. And just, yeah, all that. I mean, and he was Kid Millionaire at the time, you know what I mean? He was Kid Millionaire, AKA Steve Aoki, like, and they started Banana Split. But yeah, all crazy beginnings of all that stuff. Just nuts.
That's nuts.
We could talk to you forever.
I know.
We're not. Yeah. I apologize. We're taking up your time.
No. I got my slippers on and everything, man. Like I'm here for story time. Like I am here for story time.
Jesus. Let me ask you this before we roll out. I just want to touch base on this. It's a two-parter here. You've DJ'd with everyone, every celebrity event, every celebrity DJ event. first part is Shepard Fairey a good DJ? Is the first part. And second part is, who is the best celebrity DJ that you've seen?
Oh man. I mean, Shepard Fairey is so cool. Like he is a fan of DJing and music and obviously art, and is amazing at art, and is very respectful of the art and knows it. And I don't think he claims to be the best DJ. You know what I mean? So he's good, and he's really good. I mean, I saw it on the I did that night on the record with him, and he was. I thought he was doing great, playing all types of dope stuff, and I don't think he's trying, but I mean, he's learned from like Z Trip and stuff, so he knows what's up, and so yeah, I would consider him good. I mean, what are you gonna? I don't think that's not his only thing, and he's not trying to take over the DJ world. So for sure, I think it's fine. And then the best celebrity DJ, I mean, it's I don't know if this counts, I mean, I'd probably say Russell Peters, is the best celebrity DJ I've ever seen, but he's a DJ. He became a celebrity. A funny one, not to like, I mean, I'm not like a Trump person, but I remember Kid Rock came in the club one time, and he was at the spot, I think it was MI6, some like Hollywood club, and I DJ'd in this special room. We had to be like cool to get in. And he's like, I DJ, you gotta let me DJ. And I'm like, you're Kid Rock, dude. And he actually like could fucking DJ. Like he was like scratching and like doing things.
I think there's a video of him doing like the Rock the Bells routine or some shit.
I was like, he's the real DJ. Like he knows what's up. He was like DJing. He knew how to like, he was on Serato, he's picking the songs, he's mixing them in, he's scratching. So, I mean, I maybe don't like his politics in the past 8 years or so, but or however long, 4 years, but he can DJ. I don't know if he's the best.
Right.
And I mean, Russell Peters, legend. He's so good, and he's just like he's just such a great purveyor and preserver of the hip hop culture, and. He'll just have like Lord Finesse living at his house. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, I'm going to use the bathroom. Oh, Lord Finesse is in your living room. What's going on there? Making beats all night long. Like when you see Lord Finesse like on Twitch right now, like I'm 99% sure he's in Russell's house.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, like he has just like every hip hop guy like living in a different room of like a 75 room mansion in Malibu. Like I went over there, like this is nuts. Like DJing is dope, but like being able to tell jokes and then be able to like buy a huge mansion off that is like even doper.
Yeah.
100%.
He does both.
Dude, that's crazy.
So sick. I was so stoked when I saw that you were back in Vegas and on the record.
I know.
Because I hadn't seen you in Vegas since I was at Trist.
I know. I would do kind of one-offs here and there, but it would be weird. I would do like light, and they would be like, only play hip hop and or whatever. And I appreciated those gigs, and shout to the people that book me and I work with. I'll DJ at any of those spots, but it was always so high pressure. They'd be like, you're at One Oak. Everything's on the line. It's like, why? Like everybody has their own vision of what needs to happen, and like you guys are just stressing the fuck out. Like I remember when all the people that own Mansion, all those clubs, Opium Group, and they opened a spot in Planet Hollywood called I don't know if it was called Opium or something, but it was
I think it was Opium,
right. And I remember I DJ'd there, and they were like, we got this girl Kim Kardashian, she's coming in to host, but like we don't want her on the mic, and nobody knows who she is, like all this stuff. It was like so long ago. And I remember she kept getting on the mic like, oh, you guys are so hot, thank you. She was like doing the Paris Hilton thing, and they're like, pull her off, get her off the mic. And I'm like, I'm not gonna rip the mic out of her hand. Like, what the hell? That club was like grand opening, grand closing type shit. Even though I had a lot of crazy experiences there. But yeah, I mean, on the record, thank God for Shecky and Sean Christie and Eddie McDonald. Yeah. And every Pierce Cleveland, and I mean Pierce the best. I mean all those people. I love them, and I hope I get to come back and do cool things in Vegas. Eventually, we'll see. I don't know what's there. I've seen videos over the past week. Like at Stadium Swim and all these places that look definite 2019 vibes, in the sense that
things are opening.
COVID does not exist.
Things
But-
are opening, and I'm more than positive you'll be back, bro. Like, you've been.
Yeah. I'll be out there soon enough. But you know, I want to kind of get my 5G vaccine going on.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. We'll wait till you're all squared away, and then we'll
then I
catch up.
can, it looks crazy, you know, like I got
It's
my
a crazy look.
Yeah, it looks crazy. So I'm like, I want to be I didn't stay in my house for a year for no reason. At least I'm gonna wait it out for another couple weeks, get this shot, and then I can go work and go to Vegas and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I love On the Record. I'm hoping that more cool places are in Vegas and I'm able to do it. I do miss the Trist days. That was so fun, but it just got I was at Trist at a time where they weren't selling tickets to clubs. The beginning of selling tickets to clubs was Marquee and then XS, and that's what began the bidding wars of that, you know. And then maybe like Tiesto would come, but he would play in like the Hard Rock like ballroom, you know, like they would sell tickets, and then like there would still be DJs at Body English or whatever. So I remember seeing that all happen and start, and even going to dinner with the heads of the clubs, and they were like, have you heard of this guy Afrojack and Calvin Harris? And I was like, yeah, I play Calvin Harris all the time, because I'd play that I Invented Disco record. It wasn't even like,
yeah.
And I'm like, he's the
Before
dopest,
he was wave
you know?
popping,
Yeah, like I loved his music. And I'm like, he's great. And they're like, well, they want $25,000 to DJ, and we will never, ever pay anyone that. That is unbelievable. You know, fast forward to giving people like $400,000 to DJ for 90 minutes. Like, so
Man,
that whole
yeah.
world. And that's when I got in where I fit in. I was there for years. Thank God. It was a long ass run. But it got to the point where everything was about selling tickets or bringing the value to the table rather than just being a good DJ that could keep people there and do the thing. And the club I'm at is a Friday night at an 8 to 10-year-old club in Las Vegas, and I'm right next door to Diplo and Steve Aoki and Avicii, and it's like, you know, so it gets to the point where I don't know. And then from there I was like, shit, I'm only gonna come back if it's right, you know, even though I want the gig. So I just, there's a lot of ups and downs, and then thankfully I got in with the On the Record people, and we'll see what happens. I don't know what.
I like how they were
like.
doing it, man. I thought they were doing it right. I like the way On the Record was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my final show was dope. I think it was with Anderson .Paak, so good way to end it. I got to play an hour-and-a-half set. It was the most fun set ever. Anderson .Paak performed. It was during CES week. It was like I made really good money that week, and then the whole world stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna be like. You know, we'll see about the coming back into the gig world for DJs. I mean, it's slowly coming back, and I know some people haven't stopped. I talked to JR. He's like, I've been working probably every week since May. You know, in Arizona, and people in Atlanta and Florida and Georgia. So
what were you gonna say, Travis?
Hey, Spider, I gotta ask. We're putting together our 505 podcast playlist on Spotify. What song do we need to add?
Just like a new song.
Any song, new
Any
song, old
just
song,
get to
any
put-
song that catches your ear. What song has caught your ear?
You just have to add one song,
Yeah.
any genre, anytime.
And I have to say it right now on the spot.
On the spot.
Yes, on the spot.
I mean, I don't know.
And please don't say anything from Aquemini.
I just looked at it. I was like, Spotty Yachty,
What about how deep is your love?
Oh God, no! Delete that.
Don't fuck with me, man. Don't fuck
That
with
guy's
Don't
me.
gonna
fuck with me.
listen to this. That guy's gonna listen to this. I'm gonna be dead. You know?
No,
He's
Bill
like,
Murray
"Dead
will protect you. Bill Murray will protect you.
You should put a De La Soul song. You can't get access.
Yeah,
to it.
can't get that one.
I mean, let's put I don't know, man. This
Yeah,
is
all right,
hard.
we'll get. Hit us up
Put,
in the DMs. We'll get.
We could do Music Soul Child Buddy because it samples De La Soul.
Yeah, there you go.
I was thinking if I could pick a song for you, it would be A Punk by Vampire Weekend.
I play that. Yeah, that is a song I play a lot in any situation. I mean, let's go with Mobb Deep, "Drink Away the Pain."
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
I think Q-Tip produced that too.
I like that
I
one.
think. Fun fact.
Spider, you are an absolute legend. We
Goat.
greatly appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us.
Of course. This was
Sir.
so much fun, dude. I love this. I want to do some podcasts where I get to talk to multiple people. That's the thing with the one-on-one. It tends to be more serious for some reason too, because you're just like, whatever chemistry you have with that person is like what you get. So sometimes it's hard. But when you're with a group of people, it's fun. So this was I had a blast, and I love talking to you guys, and your podcast is great too. I love the whole concept of it. Your guys' opinion on everything is great. I mean, all of your guys' opinion on music is something I have loved and trusted for a long time, in your own respect, you know what I mean? From listening to you guys DJ or just things you posted on the internet, and and from hearing you in Chicago and your party in Vegas and all that. So I love talking music with you guys, and just so much fun, and thank you for having me on.
Of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Huge
Man.
honor.
No,
Any
for real.
parting words you want to share with DJs or someone looking to start a podcast? Any little quip you want to tell them before we cut out?
Sure. I mean, as far as DJs out there, shout to you, stay strong. Like, we're all in this together. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to reach out. I think an important thing is to realize that you are not alone. As you feel, you're not alone. And I know it's scary to put out there maybe something you're feeling or something you've made, but do it. You know what I mean? You're going to regret all the things you didn't do, So, and someone said to me recently about, I was talking to them about all these ideas I want to do, and they said, who's missed the most shots in the whole NBA? Kobe Bryant. And I'm like, that's crazy to hear, because the best person has also missed the most shots, and you won't ever get anywhere without really trying. And what's the worst that could happen? You know what I mean? Really ask yourself that. What is the worst that could happen if I put this mix out? Who am I really trying to impress? And just do it. If something is bad, you can always take it off. No one remembers the bad stuff. People only remember the good stuff. So don't be afraid. Don't get too in your head. Don't let your ego hold you down. We're all in this crazy time together. So your ego may try to tell you that you should be a certain thing or you should feel a certain way, but just, go forth and try your ideas. They're valid, and reach out for help. There's people that you can network with and help you. And I say that about DJing as well as podcasting. A lot of people reach out to me, and it's funny because sometimes their messages will say, I know you're not going to read this, or I know you won't reply, and I'm like, boom, I just replied to you. Now what are you going to do? I'm like, what do you mean? I've wrote people too that I don't think you're going to reply, and some didn't, and some did. But feel free to reach out, to me and to other people, because I'm happy to help out people out there. And I love seeing people live out their dreams and be successful. And there's a lane for everybody out here. Before we started recording, I was telling you guys about trying to get gigs in the metaverse and Decentraland and crypto voxels, all this crazy shit. I'm going to go research that stuff tonight. There's always a different lane. I've tried to be authentic and be myself, but also have my own lane with everything. And that's been my approach. And I think that there's a lane for everyone out there. Don't be afraid to be yourself. And that's it. I love you guys.
Thank you, man. We love you.
Bro. Yeah.
Where can people find you on social media before we cut out?
Yeah, so there is a lot of other DJ Spiders popping up lately, man. It has been annoying, but so it's funny. It's some dudes on Sirius Radio recently, and people are like, "I listened to you mix." I'm like, "That wasn't me." But basically, so
loser.
I don't know. And every country now has a DJ Spider. It's pretty nuts. But the like the cease and desist can't go out fast enough.
Right.
But my it's just Instagram is DJ Spider, DJSPIDER. Twitch, I'm on there all the time now. Twitch.tv/DJ Spider, DJSPIDER. But some of the things I had to do spelled out. So Twitter is DJ Spider, DEEJAYSPIDER. My website is also that, DEEJAYSPIDER.com. My website has links to everything. But yeah, on my Twitch page, I have a Discord. So I put a lot of like custom edits, and I have a subscriber section. So if you subscribe to my Twitch, you get to go on my Discord page, and you know, I'm on Audius as DJ Spider, DJ SPIDER. I'm on SoundCloud as the other DEEJAYSPIDER. So basically, go to my website, and you will be able to link to all my stuff, or my Instagram, and I will send you things from there.
Hell yeah!
One of a kind.
Spider. Go.
Thank you so fucking.
Legend.
This was great. Thank you guys.
Man.
Hell yeah.
Thank you,
brother.
man.
Yeah.
That's going to wrap it up for this week. Holy moly.
Wrap it up, pack it up.
Oh, man.
It was a good story
I'm chopping
time, man.
I'm chopping up some of those stories and using them on my own.
Yeah, for real. For real.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what you need to do?
Those on my show, like, because I'm always interviewing the guests, so like I feel like a jerk if I tell like too long of a story in front of them. So I'm like, all right, this is my time to tell a story.
And that's why we wanted to have you too, so you can get a step from the other side of the camera and be like, this guy has a fucking story to tell. Get him on here.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what you need to do is you need to find like an animator, like somebody, a cartoonist, and tell your story to
like
them.
Party Legend type shit.
Yeah.
So that was the entire. So it's funny. That's how that was the entire concept behind my first podcast. So I wanted to call it "Is This Real Life?" I was doing it with Morse code because he's hilarious and he tells amazing stories and he's very animated and he has great voices. And he told a story about being at Coachella and being on, under the influence of a certain type of thing that can be very hallucinogenic and trippy. And
hey, it's legal here in Portland, so
okay.
Yeah.
So,
you're good.
And so he thought, yeah, you're right. So he thought he was in a 90s hip hop video, and him explaining being at Coachella on that and thinking he's in a 90s hip hop video and trying to find his wallet, and everything was like a 90s hip hop, like, hey, yo, B, step up to the wallet. Let's go. Step up. But the way he told it's just like you cry laughing. So he tells his story, and I had the exact thought that you said. So I chopped it up into like a 1-minute thing, and I sent it to Adam, the DJ in Vegas, DJ 1969.
Yeah.
Now he's Adam, the DJ.
Pretty done.
I sent it to him. I said, can you draw this story? And I'm going to get someone to animate it. So he did. He drew it out. I paid some animator guy. We animated it. And I'm like, this would be, and this was way before the party down, all that stuff, which I'm like, I wish I would have done it. But, and I had this 1-minute thing and it was so great. And then I recorded myself doing the Bill Murray story and I chopped up and I did like Foley, like I did like sound effects and like everything. And I made it sound like you're outside the club with the filter. Like I made it like a whole, like an old radio show from the 40s, type thing. And so it came out so good. I still have these things. And then actually funny, I brought it to DJ City. It was like, do you guys want to do this series on your YouTube? And they're like, yes, we want to do this. And this was years and years ago. And that's years later, they came back to me like, hey, sorry, like, I know we never really did it, but like, do you want to do a podcast with us for this new site Beat Source coming out? So it all like weirdly was all that stuff. And I wanted to do that. And I still do. I agree with you. Like, if there's some way I need to find someone on Fiverr. I feel like back then it was so hard to find somebody.
Yeah.
But now there's ways to find, I need an NFT that story.
That's
Definitely.
the NFT. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the NFT.
Yeah, I think you could do that.
Because so
That's
many
actually
people
a
would
good
buy
idea.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many people would buy that and be like, cool, I want to see this fucking story in front of me. So
That's so interesting. I didn't think about that. But yeah.
There it is right
Either
there.
way,
That's the NFT.
even if it just goes on YouTube and it's just funny, I don't care. But like, yeah, like I should do that. I
Hell
do
yeah.
want to. This was good to have for my own archives. Trying to build up my YouTube anyway. Another thing to find me on YouTube.
There we go.
Ring that bell.
I have like 100 people on there. Yeah, smash that button that nobody else has
Smash
smashed.
that like, ring the bell, get notified whenever I drop
I
something.
noticed they started doing the shorts thing on there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, I've been doing shorts. Okay,
Exactly.
That's my life. I make mag life. Okay, I'm gonna put that up there. Like, let's. I'm gonna
We
see
didn't even
if I can
talk about that. That's we got to have you back.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to have you back for sure.
There's so many
Okay.
things you do that I'm like, this motherfucker's so smart. Like these little like mag
I don't
life.
know if mag life's smart, but yeah, that started in Las Vegas one day on Vine. I was just like leaving Vegas, and I went in that that little shop in the airport that sells like weird underwear that like says like home of the Whopper over your like ball sack or something, and I'd be like, I'm gonna film this with Vine, and then I'm gonna film my face reacting to the underwear with quotes on it. And I remember I did 2 of them, and the lady looks at me and goes, "What are you doing? Get out of here!" Like, you're a perv. I was like, "No, it's Vine. It's a funny thing. You film things, And she goes, "Get out of here." I'm like, "Shit!" So I had like 4 seconds left on the Vine, and I walked down. I saw the magazine shop, and I looked and I filmed the magazine cover, and I tried to make my face look like the shark or something. It was like a shark. It looked all weird, like, and I was like, "Oh, I can do that." And I was like, "Bleh." And then like I looked like some other dude, and I was like, "Hey." And then I put it on, and then like I got more comments than I ever got on any Vine. People were like, "Yo, that's so funny, dude." And I was like, "What?" That stupid thing was my Vine hit. And then like right after that, Instagram came out with 15-second long videos. And I was like, "Yo, I get 15 whole seconds. Like, this is what I'm going to do." So then the next time I went to Vegas, I filmed just magazine covers of my face. And I was like, "Mag life." And then people were like, "That's the funniest shit I've ever seen." And I had been like spending 3 months making a remix and all this stuff, working so hard on my music. And people would be like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't hear it." And then I do that, and everyone's like, "You're a genius." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to do this." So I just kept doing it. And that's why when Twitch came out, I'm like, I did not just spend 8 to 10 years of my life filming myself imitating magazine covers for no reason. So I downloaded all like 142 of them off Instagram, put them in Final Cut, and it's like an hour and 10 minutes where it never repeats of just me going like, "Ooh, ah, ooh," like every single one. And my Twitch, I have a TV on my Twitch page where it just plays the entire thing. And so people that don't know who I am just are like, "What the hell is going on here?" Like in the chat. I'm like, just, that's for your enjoyment, guys.
Yes. Oh,
Mag life, baby.
Mag life.
Mag life for life.
Mag
Yes.
life for life. Yeah.
Spider, we can't wait to see you again. I got a big hug for you, buddy, when we're all
I
back
know.
to vaccinations. We've had some great times at Underground. We've had some great times on the late night at Subway and at 7-Eleven, and I have those pictures
Yeah.
where we're all wearing visors, and there's some
Oh,
great...
yeah. What was going on that? I would get so drunk in Chicago. It was ridiculous. When I would go to Underground, too, it was like insane. Because I would go DJ the club down the street, and it would end at 1:45 or something, or 2. And then we go to you, and you'd go till 4, and everyone would be like, "Shot, shot, shot, shot." And I was like, "Oh, my God." Like, so we would wear visors.
Yeah, it was like get him to the Greek. It was like get him to the Greek. Like every night you were in
almost every month. I would come there every month, and I'd be back in my hotel room just like trying to not like spin around. I was like, "Oh, I feel so horrible right now." Like, but that was thank God for this year, because it's funny, I don't like drinking. I hate alcohol. But
I quit. I'm almost 2 years sober.
Congratulations and good job. I'm proud of you, because that's really hard. I definitely didn't quit, but I haven't been drunk for a year straight up. Like,
right.
I'll drink, but I think I hate alcohol enough where I'm like, I'm drinking on my stream tonight, and like I can't drink more than one drink. It tastes so horrible to me. I just don't like how I feel after. But when I'm in a club and all that, I don't know. I just feel the need to do it. It's hard to get away from.
It's a lot of moving around.
Yeah, it's like hard to do, but I don't like it. So thank God for this time. I just haven't. I've been virtually sober. Like a lot of Twitch DJs have been going harder than the clubs. I'm like, damn, you're doing shots at 3 p.m. Like, what are you doing right now?
Yeah,
They be
every
lying.
day.
Yeah.
rocking.
Yeah,
They
the
be
Houston's
lying.
Rockets.
Yeah.
They're
No.
lying. That is water. I don't believe some of them.
No.
Right.
Some of them are like.
Some of them are really
like,
up there, huh?
Yeah, or just every night. I mean, drinking every night. I don't know. We're getting
Yeah,
older.
straight
I
up,
can't,
that's a
I
lot,
can't do
that's a
that to
lot.
my body. Like, I'm trying to be alive.
Just the thought of
Yeah.
DJing until 2 a.m. now, it just sounds exhausting. I'm like, cut it at 10, send everyone home at a respectable time.
I know, isn't that funny? Like on Twitch by midnight, it's like that's like some 5 a.m. Like it's like who the hell's on Twitch this late? But me, I go on Twitch. I've had some nights where I've gone till people in other countries are like, "What are you doing awake?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I can't sleep ever. I'm just up all the time, no matter what. But so I'll be on there late. But the daytimes are better. Today I had such a good time doing the daytime. I gotta get on the Twitch daytime tip. It's been hard.
Yeah.
Well, we'll all rate each other. I know we don't have a big following, but we'll talk to you on the side because Neek and I are starting to do some more Twitch stuff on a scheduled basis. So we'll have to link with you on that.
Let's do it. I'm trying to start this show actually like with where I'm gonna have guests and people. So like I did it a couple weeks ago, and I used to do this podcast called Selected Eclectic, where we played. It was me and Mr. Best and Steve Wonder, and I tried to do sort of emulate what we would play at these private events, because people always go, "What do you play at a thing like this?" So we would play very eclectic mix on this podcast and try to spot like new music that came out that week or that month that was different, and not club stuff. And then that came up, but I decided, hey, let's do it on Twitch. So we did it. I figured out how to do it with StreamYard, and it looks like we're in the same room. It's so dope. We have green screens. And then I realized we can bring on multiple guests. So I have me and him on the screen, but then we messed around and got Steve Wonder on there. So who knows? Maybe we could do a thing where I'm trying to do it either on Fridays in the afternoon, or I'm trying to find a good place for it. But that would be so. I want to start having guest DJs, and we all DJ together in a way. Like I would DJ for 15 minutes, and I'd be like, "Yo, you do some stuff," and then you play, and we're all on the screen, and we can all hear each other. So maybe we could, partner up on that for a stream. And
We've been talking about that for a minute too.
yeah, I'll show you. This StreamYard thing is so dope. It's like we're in the same room. Like it's pretty mind blowing. Like we tried to mix into each other and we couldn't. It's like a tiny beat off.
Uh-huh.
But besides that, it's like you're just like, yo, you ready? Okay, cool. Just like put reverb or echo and then a drop, and then that person goes in. And it's dope. We can hear each other and be like, what are you playing? What's this? And then make a playlist out of it and put it up on Spotify that everybody can listen to. And so that's been a fun thing. And yeah, just let me know. We can
Definitely
raid each other, get the raid train.
Yeah.
Love
send,
that.
gravy train, hype train.
yeah,
all
we'll
the
send
trains.
our best 10 viewers your way. So
Yeah.
I mean, the best
Top
10
10.
are better
Top
than
10.
the top 1,000. Sometimes you see someone with 1,000, but there's no one in the chat. And sometimes you see people with
That
20,
is true though.
and they're the most active people in the world. They're doing millions of
Right.
subs and all that stuff. So your dedicated people are better off than just having some huge number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
All right. I think we'll wrap it up there. I could talk to you all. We could talk to
Me
you all
too.
night.
Yeah, we can go for another 2 hours if you
I'm
want.
gonna keep talking. You can't stop me.
This is the 5-on-5. Let's start from the top. This is
5-on-5 version. 5-on-5 hours. Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta's like, fucking cut it. Just cut it.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta's gonna murder me after this.
Yeah. Except for
I don't know if I'm allowed to tell those stories, but I mean, I think I am. Who knows? I don't know who's gonna listen to these things.
This is
Like,
great.
That was great.
I think I'm good. There were specific ones where they were like, "Do not say any of this." I think I've told. There's two parties I did where I told 2 people about them, and I was like, "You can never say anything about." And one of them is my wife, and the other one is like my good friend that I give if I can't do gigs, I hit him up. So he's the only one that knows, and I trust him with secrets. So I'm like, don't tell anybody.
Wait, is that Architect? Do we get an Architect shout out in here too?
Oh no, you know what? But Architect, yes. Oh my god, the final party of before the pandemic, I did with Architect. So Architect is my dude. I love Architect. He
Shout out
is
to
the
Kyle.
best. I would do anything for Architect. He is the greatest human. He's such a great guy. but he and yes, he has come with me to some of these insane parties, and he's the best. But the final party, I remember when everyone was like, "Is COVID horrible? Are we all going to the house forever?" Like nobody was shaking hands there. We didn't know what to do, and he did it with me. And one of the person's brother-in-law, it was someone's 40th birthday, and the person's brother-in-law was one of the guys from the creators of South Park. The guy.
Oh, okay. Trey and Matt Stone, or Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Yeah, so it was Trey Parker. It wasn't the curly hair guy, the other guy.
Okay.
And like, he comes out and he's like, "All right, cut the music. I want to give a speech." And like, oh my god, like he gave the funniest speech ever. Like Architect, I remember Kyle was like, "That was the most legendary thing I've ever like seen and heard." I was like, "Me too." It was crazy. Like, he was saying the funniest shit ever, and like he got his kid to come out and say all this insane shit that like kids don't say, and like, like South Park type shit. And, oh my god, it was so classic. And like me and Kyle left that night just like, all right, I'll see you like in 10 years. Like, what's about to happen? Like, I remember there was a stand where people they had a joint bar where they were giving out weed. And I remember like people were scared to share the joints, you know, so like we got our joints to go. And I was like, see you in a long time. So I've talked to Architect since, but no, the other person is Mr. Best, DJ Mr. Best.
Okay, yeah.
Shout to him. He's got crazy stories too. He's doing this insane movie premiere this weekend that's going to be just nuts too, like a drive-in type thing. But yeah, he's got a lot. I've been trying to get him to come on my podcast, but he's like, one day.
Oh, movie premiere. We got, what is it, Godzilla? I think we got Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
Godzilla
I'm about to watch that tonight.
Yeah, I don't know when this comes out, but yeah, it's going to be the Godzilla.
Godzilla King Kong.
Yeah, and like they showed me the setup for it. I mean, it's insane what they're doing because it's a drive-in, but like they have like, it looks so crazy, and they're gonna have 2 DJs. Like someone's Godzilla, and someone's King Kong.
That's dope.
It's fresh. Nuts. So I was like, you know, congratulations. But yeah, dope. He's super cool with Kyle. Like me, him, and Kyle, Architect. The past few years, we would go to Sundance all together and rent a house.
Oh, okay.
Do as many gigs as we could between us, and anything I couldn't do, I'd pass to Architect, and anything he couldn't do, he'd pass to Architect, and we would just kind of have the best 7 days of or even more, best week of our life every year. Just so much fun.
Oh, I bet.
Crazy up there.
I have to give a
we
shout
got more stories, guys.
Oh yeah.
Architect actually. Okay, final Architect thing. He's such a great guy. I mean, he's like Mr. Workout. Like I would go to Chicago and we would like finish the night and we'd be all like faded at 4 a.m, like we're saying. And he'd be like, "I'm going to work out, bro." I'm like, he doesn't talk like that, sorry, but he'd be like, "I'm going to work out," and I'd be like, "Work out?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to lift." I'm like, "It's 4 a.m. What are you doing?" And so he would, you know, so he's like, we call him the Beast, like, because we'd go up to Sundance and like we'd be like grocery shopping, but he would like buy like 70,000 pounds worth of shit. I'm like, how much can you eat, man? But we went out one night. We go to Tao, and I remember like it's really hard to like get weed up there, and I had rolled these joints, and I had this joint, and like it was like all we had. You know what I mean? It's like it's hard to get. It's like all you got. You know what I mean? And I dropped it. Like I don't know what happened.
No!
It fell. And we're at Tao nightclub, Sundance, so it's like super packed and crazy. And some dude picked it up, and then like we saw him, and then I was like, "Oh, we got to get that back." And then he's like, "Oh no, I found it on the ground, homie," or like something. And then Kyle was like, "Nah, hang on." And then he like did some shit. It like went up to the dude and was like, "Nah, like we're taking that back from you." Like, and the guy's like, "No." And then he was like, "I don't think you understand." Like he did some like mafia shit. Like, "I am like a large human that will kill you," you know. And then the guy was like, "No, it's cool, bro. Here you go." And I was like, I'm like, "I love you, man." It's like, and I was just like, "All right, lost the joint," you know. And like he was like,
"He's right. Finders keepers."
Not lose the joint.
Yeah, right.
He's like, "I will kill this person."
Oh, that's...
See, Architect can handle anything, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to get Architect on the pod.
Yeah, he and I
man.
have stories. We have some stories.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So many good Chicago stories, and he's a great guy. He's doing some crazy stuff now. I mean, I'll let him tell it, but I know what he's doing now. It's something you wouldn't have predicted a year ago. But yeah,
All right, I'll
cool.
take it.
He's the man. Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Spider.
Another story.
So
I got
much
you.
for joining us.
Hey man, you know I'm here all night, man. Like
Yeah.
I said, man, my feet are kicked up right now. I'm good.
Yeah.
I got to do my podcast like this. I'm so much more comfortable.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I'm
couch
learning.
is great.
Yeah, it's so much better. I do it from my chair with the thing because I gotta have 2 screens and the mic, and I'm trying to be all organized and be like a super interviewer. But it's making me rethink my whole existence as a podcaster.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we bring you onto ours, and it's like, hey, take your shoes off, whatever. Go ahead, lay down on the couch while you talk to us.
I got
Absolutely.
shorts on. I got no shoes. We got legs. Look
See?
at
See?
His legs out.
that. I got legs. I know how to use them. Let's go. Got weird socks on. I do that on my Twitch stream. I'm like, look at my legs, baby. This is weird. I would never do this. I got socks on. People think I'm so weird on my Twitch.
Oh
Which I
my
am,
God.
but, yeah.
Spider, man, once the world opens up, man, I'm kicking it with you, bro.
Oh, please, we got to, man.
Absolutely.
Portland's one of my favorite places. Like my sister lived up there for a while, and she was gonna move up there, but all this stuff happened, so
Yeah.
not anymore. But that was one of my favorite places. Like I stayed there for a week before all this stuff went down, and just I got to eat at all the best places.
Yeah,
I went to
man.
that crazy double-decker bus where the guy makes the best cold brew I've ever had.
Oh, yeah. Colin, what's that called? We went by there one day.
I've never been there.
No, we went by there one day. We
Unreal, dude.
had
That
something to
dude's a
eat right by there.
scientist.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes the ice cubes out of cold brew. So when they melt,
Yeah.
it turns
Mhm.
into more coffee. I'm
Mhm.
like, you're a genius, my dude. And it's like mint infused, and it's right by that egg place in the whole street. I love Portland so much.
Yeah,
But
man.
they ended up not doing that. She's up in Ojai. She's a farmer now. My sister became a farmer. The whole world has changed.
Oh, good
in a
for
year.
her.
It's really weird. But yes,
It's-
let's all hang. I love Portland.
Let's do
Hopefully
it.
I can make it up there. I don't know if they book DJs anymore. Shout to
No.
Evil One.
Got to Evil One.
Shouts
yeah.
to Evil One, man.
That's Evil One.
Yeah.
That was the last time I was there. I saw you, DJing.
Yeah, we rocked it out. We had a good dinner.
Yes, I met your friends.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to come to that dinner too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
supposed to
So-
come. I just
See,
remembered
you
that.
missed out.
I did.
told more stories.
I did. And that probably would have been bad because you wouldn't have made the gig. I'm like, tell me another one.
Oh shit.
Could have done a podcast there.
All right, we're
Evil
cutting
One
it.
probably
We're
would
at
be
like
good. Have you had Evil One on? You got to get him on.
Oh no,
he's-
we will.
Yeah,
We will.
He's on the
So-
list for sure.
That's
he's
big homie.
He's getting into his real estate thing, so I want to get him rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
We can get some
Yeah.
real estate stories out of him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been through some hard times too, and it's a
Mhm.
weird. But that's actually interesting. I talked to him about coming on mine, and then we never, you know how it goes, booking guests, it just kind of falls apart. You forget, or they forget, and then you're like, oh shit, I still want you on. I got to hit you up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we will definitely
dope.
have you back, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so
For sure.
much.
Be dope.
And
I got to get you guys on. That could be my first team podcast.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be
yeah,
fun.
that'd be dope. I would
Yeah.
love that. All right, let's keep in touch about that. Don't be afraid to remind me, 'cause like I said, I forget.
Yeah,
But
let's do
all right,
that.
let's for sure. Let's keep talking about everything. Do some collabs on Twitch and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And hopefully see you in person. But yeah, thank you guys again.
Thanks,
Yes,
Spider.
sir.
Word up.
All right,
Thank
peace,
you.
y'all. Stay safe.
All right,
Okay.
y'all.